terms of having any depth. These two teams, despite being very old universities, have never met before on the gridiron. As a matter of fact, as one of the fellows from Rutgers pointed out, the only connection he could get between Rutgers and Vanderbilt is that Cornelius Vanderbilt, the man who founded Vanderbilt University here, was a New Brunswick, New Jersey resident. As you see, Brian Cobb, number 20, and 22, Eric Young, are back deep to receive for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. They won the coin toss. Johnny Clark is number 4. He is the punter and kicker for Vanderbilt, a sophomore from Birmingham, Alabama. Vanderbilt 1-6. Rutgers looking for a bowl bid. They are 5-2. And this game is underway. Brian Cobb on a short kickoff from his 11. And Cobb with excellent field position out to the 31-yard line, knocked out by number 14, Steve Law, a return of 20 yards. And let's take a look now at the Scarlet Knights offensively. They are led by their redshirt sophomore quarterback, Scott Ernie, from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. 58% completion record. Good fullback, short yardage man, also a good receiver, Kurt Stevens. Henry Henderson is their tailback, 5'8", good deep threat. Steve Tardy, the best offensive lineman. He's a big one on the right side at 6'5", 270. Scott Ernie, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 1,200 yards on the year. He's going to open up throwing. He has a man wide open. Down to the 41-yard line of Vanderbilt goes Brian Cobb, a gain of 28 yards on the opening play. Torrey Price with the tackle. And, Tim, this could result in Vanderbilt's injuries back there.
You see the blitz there by Gaines, and nobody gets there. This is just a blown assignment. There's no one close to the receiver, Cobb, as he catches the ball. Price finally coming over, putting the hat on him. Looked like they are blitzing a linebacker, trying to play some sort of zone behind it. Good read by Ernie. Nice throw.
We'll talk in a minute about the changes in the Vanderbilt secondary due to injuries. As I say, that could have something to do with it. This one is complete to the tight end, Bruce Campbell, but for a very short gain. Vanderbilt's defense has had some changes. Up front on the defensive line, as standard starters of Snyder, Moore, and Worm. The linebackers have one change, and Chris Gaines, their leading tackler, but 31, Billy Cunningham, starting in place of Renford Reese. And in the secondary, Joe Gentry at free safety. He's normally the strong safety because Andy Baker is hurt with a deep thigh bruise. Price and Roman are the corner. Now, double tight ends for Rutgers. 2nd down, 6. Off to Stevens. To the 35-yard line of Vanderbilt. David Worm, 97, with a stop.
Scott Ernie has just come out and done an excellent job for Dick Anderson and his coaching staff. He came in, as you mentioned in the opening, against Penn State last year when Gagliardi went down with a shoulder injury, and his first start was against Florida. They lost 15-3, but he's gained experience with every game, and they're really confident now in his ability to make the right choices and deliver the ball on time.
3rd down, 4 from the 35-yard line. Ernie rolling. He's going to be thrown for a loss. 52, DeMond Winston with a big play for Vanderbilt back to the 41-yard line. A loss of 6 yards, and that makes a field goal attempt much more difficult now.
Bob, this is a pattern they ran often against Boston College, running off both wide receivers, trying to hit the slot man on a little outside pattern, but a good job of coverage by the Vanderbilt defense, the secondary. And DeMond Wilson takes Ernie to the turf.
And the punter, Matt O'Connell, is in. Would have been a 58-yard field goal attempt, and their kicker, Carmen Scrufani, couldn't hit it that far in their opinion. Ball is punted, attempted to get inside the 20, but shanked off the left side. They spotted way out to the 23-yard line, where it will be 1st down 10 Vanderbilt. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System.
We're not a company, but we'll give you a chance to work where there's always a challenge. We'll give you opportunities to learn, to develop, to perfect skills that you thought were beyond your reach. We'll help you build a career that can reward you for the rest of your life. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
I can't breathe.
Before and Afrin.
Better.
What Afrin does in 5 minutes takes Sudafed over an hour.
Blocked.
Before and Afrin.
Unblocked.
It's the #1 recommended nasal spray.
Yeah. Harry, Kalamazoo Tuesday, I can do that. Memphis Wednesday, I can do that. New York Thursday, I can do that. How am I going to do that?
No matter where you do business, Northwest can fly you there.
Vanderbilt ready to go on offense now from their own 23-yard line. Eric Jones is beaten up. He was really punished by the Ole Miss defenders last week. He played quarterback. The Vanderbilt offensive line, several injuries too. Burr Seaver, by the way, is not starting at guard. His knee injury did not come around, and Jim Arnouts is starting at is playing at right guard along with Charles Pearson for Vanderbilt. Here is Crawford. Crawford on the shovel pass gets it out to the 35-yard line. Vanderbilt first down. They're looking at this defense from the Rutgers Scarlet Knights up front. Paul, Giles, and Miller. You'll also see some action from Savoy and Bankos today for Rutgers. Bob Spidell is their leading tackler, and very similar to Chris Gaines of Vanderbilt in the way he plays the position. And the co-captain, defensive leader in the secondary is number 26, Gene Austin. Vanderbilt first down 10. Eric Jones going to throw. He completes it over the middle to Kasanovich to the 41-yard line, the tight end. And Rutgers moved quickly downfield, and now Vanderbilt is doing likewise. That pass reception good for 24 yards.
Eric Jones airing it out early here. A couple of nice passes. Boom. Puts some heat on this one to Kasanovich. And Rutgers on defense. Good, solid defense. Linebackers not quite as fast as you'd like them to be.
Here's the draw play to Crawford. Finds a little running room, a little more than I expected, frankly, out to the 43-yard line. He stutter-stepped his way inside Rutgers territory. So Vanderbilt's head coach Watson Brown and Dick Anderson, who's really done a good job of building a solid football team at Rutgers.
Certainly has a great experience. Fine tight end at Penn State himself, and coached at Lafayette, then over at Penn before coming to Penn State, becoming the offensive coordinator in 1981.
Second down 7 from the 38-yard line. Vanderbilt. Single setback is 36. Andy McCarroll, the fullback. Here's the option. Eric Jones. Out of bounds at the 16-yard line goes Vanderbilt's leading rusher, Eric Jones, a 22-yard run on the option play.
You know, as Watson looks at the script, he's giving a lot of different looks to Rutgers, and the problem with Vanderbilt's offense, they've got skilled people in important positions. Eric Jones has really developed into a young man that makes good decisions on that wishbone, and nobody all year until Mississippi last week has been able to slow down this Vanderbilt offense.
And Vanderbilt has moved from their own 23 to the 16-yard line of Rutgers, first down 10. Here's Eric Jones getting the play from the sideline. They signal it in after they line up. Here's the quick handoff to McCarroll, the fullback, to the 10-yard line. Chris Evans, number 45, with a stop for Rutgers. Evans is a junior from Columbus, New Jersey.
Vanderbilt staff know they've got good players. They've had some difficulty with injuries on defense, and it gets frustrating when you know you're a much better team than 1-6, but that's what your record is. You have to continually try to transfer that confidence to your players to get them up.
It'll be second down, about 4 for Vanderbilt. Crawford, short of the first down. Needs to get just inside the 12-yard line for the first down. 96 Carter Giles makes the stop, and Watson Brown suffering through the 1-6 season, but he's not suffering as much as you might think because he knows the future is bright.
He's got 27 young men in the stable, in the redshirt stable, and he feels like they're good players. He's very competitive in recruiting last year. Thinks there's a bright future here.
Third down 2, Vanderbilt knocking at the Rutgers door. Crawford dives for the first down. To the 5-yard line goes Everett Crawford. Giles with a stop again. It'll be first down goal. Commodores at the 5-yard line of the Scarlet Knights.
See Vanderbilt getting off the ball. Good job of lead blocking by the fullback, and Crawford over the top. It's really been fun watching Everett Crawford over the year Bob developed, and fine runner, good receiver, very, very competitive young man.
Full house backfield now. Wingback Barrett, fullback McCarroll, Crawford gets the ball off the right side, up into the air, about 2 to the 3-yard line, where it will be second down goal.
Of course, both of these teams suffer from one of the same diseases, and that's lack of depth. And Vanderbilt has shuffled around their offensive line. Darrell Holt has been solid all year long in there at center, but the guard position has been a little bit unstable. Seaver's not playing with a shoulder injury, and Pearson in there, and I'm not sure who they'll come with next.
Second down goal from the 3. Eric Jones into the end zone. Kasanovich. Incomplete. He came down out of bounds in the end zone. It will be third down goal from the 3. Try to fade in the corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Kasanovich out of bounds.
Same play they scored on against Alabama. Muno chasing. Kasanovich trying to get his feet down in bounds. The ball just a little bit overthrown.
This is the 10th play of the drive for Vanderbilt. They started at their own 23-yard line. Third down goal just outside the 3-yard line of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Eric Jones rolling, looking to throw. He had stopped at the 3-yard line. Rutgers defending Vanderbilt very well down there inside the 5-yard line. Vanderbilt unable to get the touchdown. Gene Austin made the play, number 26, the left cornerback, the 5th-year senior, who is the co-captain of this Rutgers defensive team. And in comes Johnny Clark to attempt a field goal. It'll be a 20-yard attempt from the 10-yard line, right side hash mark. And this will be, if he connects, 7 straight field goals for Johnny Clark, who is 9 out of 12 on the year.
Johnny Clark has been a bright spot, and you know I don't say much about kickers, but he's been a bright spot in some of the gloom of 1-6 here in Nashville.
Tough angle. But from the 20, it's a chip shot for Johnny Clark, and Vanderbilt has taken the lead 3-0 with 8 minutes 48 seconds to go. Quarter number 1 from Nashville, Tennessee.
Delta Airlines flight attendant Irene Lockwoody loves to fly.
Are you still here?
My son was supposed to meet me.
Well, I'll wait with you.
That kid is always late.
What she loves most are the people she meets.
He must have got caught in the rain.
He was even born late.
Joey!
Irene is what Delta's all about.
Irene,
Yes?
are you married?
Yep. 2 kids.
Late again, Joey.
Love to fly and it shows.
This is a 19-inch television with a picture as crisp and clear as any you'll find. Now imagine a picture just as crisp, just as clear, but larger. In fact, it's 86% larger than even a 26-inch screen. It's the world's first 35-inch direct view television, the television that only one manufacturer could put together. Mitsubishi.
Notre Dame and Navy taking on each other this afternoon. Notre Dame has a 14-0 lead, but a scary moment for Tim Brown in the backfield. Just happened a few moments ago. As you can see, he is the one that's being circled, goes down for a block, injures his wrist. A couple of Navy players pile on top of him. He left the game, went to the locker room for x-rays. We now have the latest word. The x-rays have proved negative. He's back in the ball game. Back to Bob and Tim.
Now you're looking at Nabil El Shishai, and they had to give him a job in drama class. Watch him here, number 80 on the right side of your screen. Comes out, falls down. You got a circle on him. How about that? Boy, I draw a good circle. And he's faking in there. He's just trying to get lost. He pops up. Eric Jones rolling outside the pocket, tries to find him. Rutgers found him before Eric Jones was able to locate him, and good job of defense by Rutgers in a critical situation.
Back deep. 20, Brian Cobb. 22, Eric Young for Rutgers. Good balance on that Vanderbilt drive. 36 yards in the air, 38 yards running before they stalled at the 3-yard line of Rutgers.
It's been like that all year long. I think they average 166 yards in the air and 167 on the ground. So, I mean, you can't get much closer than that.
Johnny Clark ready to kick off now. Vanderbilt with an early lead. They've had the lead early against some very good football teams this year, but failed to hold on to it due to their lack of depth. This kickoff is going to go out of bounds at 4, and they'll have to try that again. Brian Cobb, the man who ran it out of bounds over there, number 20, is a senior. And Brian Cobb is a very intelligent player. He runs the football, catches the football, returns punt, returns kickoffs. Had a 94-yard kickoff return. There's Brian. 94-yard kickoff return versus Kentucky, which really set the stage for the Rutgers victory over the Wildcats of Kentucky 19-18 earlier in the season.
He had an 88-yarder last year against Cincinnati, so it's not something that's unusual.
Tim feeling a little under the weather today. We just want to show Tim. You do look a little peaked there. .8:48 to go. First quarter from Nashville. They had to all walk it back to the 30-yard line. All these 10 kickoff coverage players for Vanderbilt not smiling at Johnny Clark. The last thing they want to do is walk it back and run again.
It's about those white stripes, John. Keep it inside the white stripes. That's what those are for.
This one will stay inside the stripes. Brian Cobb takes it at the 10. Great speed. Remember, he had a 94-yard return earlier. This time to the 32. And good field position once again. A return of 22 yards. Tackle made by 13, Joe Gentry. A lot of football action around the nation today. Happy Halloween, by the way. Boston College, early lead over Tennessee up in Beantown.
It looked like Three River Stadium. You see a lot of those folks in Pittsburgh get dressed up like that.
Notre Dame way out in front of Navy. That's not surprising anybody. North Carolina out in front of Maryland. 13-0 that second quarter score. We'll keep you posted all afternoon on college football scores around the nation. On the first down and 10. Rutgers trying to run it off the right guard. Out to the 35-yard line goes fullback Dan Lipsett, number 39, a junior from Minersville, Pennsylvania.
You're going to see number 22, Eric Young, in motion. They use him a lot. Rutgers uses him a lot like Vanderbilt uses Everett Crawford. They try to get him on a linebacker. He's the most versatile athlete they feel like they have. And great baseball player. He just does everything real well.
Second down 7 from the 35-yard line. There's Eric Young in motion. As Coach Coley just told you. Eric Young with the reception. Beats Joe Gentry for the first down. Gets outside the 45 to the 46-yard line. Chris Gaines and Gentry combine on the tackle. Gain of 11. And Rutgers moving it on Vanderbilt again. And once again, Watson Brown, as he told us yesterday, believes this team, Vanderbilt, can move the ball, but he said, I just don't know if we have the personnel to stop people.
Injuries have played a part in that. They've got some awfully good athletes on offense, and they're very young on defense. And all those things combined together.
First down 10 from the Rutgers 46-yard line. Ernie to the tailback, Henry Henderson. The little guy is upended after a gain of about a yard. He was hit by 34 Gaines and 64 Bob Scanlon, Vanderbilt's excellent inside linebackers. Speaking of Gaines, he needs 17 tackles today to break the Vanderbilt all-time career tackle record.
And that's a fine job of blocking by Dan Lipsett. And the idea is Chris Gaines comes up, and what he usually does is fill the hole, play off the blocker to make the tackle, but a good job there by Lipsett. Knock Gaines out of the play.
It will be second down 7 near midfield for Rutgers. Scott Ernie, not much pressure. Incomplete, overthrew his intended target, Eric Young. It's not hard to overthrow these receivers. Young 5'7", McQueen only 5'8". But Ernie's completed 58% of his passes this year.
He's a good athlete, a good field general. When quizzed about what he does best, I think Dick Anderson really feels like his leadership ability and his sense of the game is what he does best. Not a great arm and not a fantastic runner, but just knows where he is on the football field. And those guys keep getting better and better and better.
6:57 to go in the first quarter. On the third down, Ernie almost picked off. Bob Scanlon was back there at the 38-yard line of Vanderbilt. Knocked it down, wanted the interception. Intended for number 20, Brian Cobb. And here's that Vanderbilt defensive secondary that's under so much pressure all year.
See, they're in the kind of situation they like to be in here. Rutgers has to throw the ball. They get the drop. Scanlon does a nice job filling over, sliding over, and the Mount Carmel High graduate knocks the ball out of the air.
Matt O'Connell, number 6 in the punt, a junior from Bethesda, Maryland. He's been inconsistent. His first punt, 18 yards. He's averaging 39.2 on the year, has a long of 52. Just don't know about O'Connell. Parker back to Vanderbilt. Sails out of bounds on the far side, and the official is being walked upfield to the 16-yard line where Vanderbilt will put it in play. First down 10, leading by 3 points with 6:45 to go in the first quarter. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System.
Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys.
Burger King introduces a new burger with a genuine Western flavor, the Bullseye Barbecue Burger. 2 flame-broiled burgers on a Western bun with melted cheese, sizzling bacon, and topped with a smoky Western-style barbecue sauce. The Bullseye Barbecue Burger won't be around for long, so get it while you can. You only have to ride as far west as Burger King, the best food for fast times.
Pat Buchanan, once Crossfire's conservative champion.
Hold it.
Then an inner voice in the Reagan administration.
You will not bring this president down.
And now, Pat's back in the Crossfire, only on CNN.
This weekend, Fleetwood Mac, Prince, Belinda Carlisle, Michael Jackson, the Bangles, Stevie Wonder, and Billy Idol. They're giving it their all, and we're bringing it all to you this weekend on Night Tracks.
Can't really see him very well, but I was talking to Eddie O'Neill. He's got the headset on with the mustache before the game. A great Penn State linebacker. Coaches the linebackers here at Rutgers. Played for the Detroit Lions in the NFL. Fine athlete.
6:45 to go. First quarter. Vanderbilt 3, Rutgers nothing. First down 10, Commodores from the 16-yard line of Vanderbilt. Eric Jones, straight drop to throw. It is complete to Crawford. Gain of about 7 yards on the play over the middle. Paul Gurria, number 54, with a stop. Paul Gurria, sophomore from Hamden, Connecticut. And yes, he is the son of pro wrestler Tony Gurria.
Tony from Australia.
That's it, Tony Gurria. And his son, Paul, linebacker, the sophomore. Defensive player of the week last week against Army.
He's got a brother, Ivan, that's the starting offensive guard here for Rutgers. Can't use your hands, though, Ivan.
Second down 3 from the 23. Vanderbilt out of the wishbone this time. Crawford driving close to the first down. May not have gotten to the first down marker. It was a second down call. Vanderbilt with the most, when you talk about multiple offense, this is the most multiple offense I've seen in college sports.
And it's not just that they line up people in different positions. You're talking about 2 different styles of offense. If you're a defensive coordinator like Otto Neidinger, you got to be concerned about the wishbone, and you think it's going to be the wishbone, you call one defense. And then they come out in 4 wide, or they come out with no setbacks. Well, now you got to go to something else. And the fellow on the field that makes those changes for Rutgers, actually what they do is they're going to start out with 2 calls, and the guy that makes the changes is Derek Baker, a weak safety. And as we said before, the strength of that defense is their secondary. They've played together. This is their 2nd year. They've been together as a group. So they kind of got a feel. As you look at Dick Anderson, and here's Eddie O'Neill sending that in.
Eddie O'Neill is saying we need the defense to hold Vanderbilt to a gain of less than 3 inches on this play. It is third down, about 3 inches for the first down. Give the ball to the fullback, 46. That's the freshman, Andy Iacenda, from Valencia, California. And Iacenda, who's a truckload at 235 pounds, gets the Vanderbilt first down and keeps the drive alive. Vanderbilt started this one at the 16-yard line. Commodores lead 3-0 on the Johnny Clark field goal. 5:27 to go, first quarter. Homecoming in Nashville, Tennessee for the Commodores. Iacenda, his first collegiate carry ever was against Auburn. He broke a tackle, got a first down, then fumbled the ball. Went on to have a very good game against Auburn late in that ball game. Eric Jones has his man open, but missed him, and it's picked off by Rutgers. Wide open for the interception is Derek Baker, number 19, down to the 31-yard line. I don't know what Eric Jones was thinking. He was looking for El Shishai, number 80, the tight end, but tossed it right into the arms of Derek Baker.
Originally, he's looking for Parker in the flat. It's not there. Shishai coming over, and he tries to dump it in over the top. There's just not enough room there. A bad decision by Eric Jones, and you see Shishai trying to find the area, but a good drop by the linebackers, Spidell, and Baker makes a play. Good defense by Rutgers.
Eric Jones with 8 interceptions on the year now. Turnovers becoming a problem, particularly in the last recent games, the most recent game for Vanderbilt. Here's Henry Henderson spinning and twisting for about 4 inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. Back to Atlanta now for this college football update.
Thank you, Bob. It's Iowa against Big Ten leader Indiana. Iowa with the ball, the flea flicker. Chuck Hartlieb to Tony Stewart. Back to Hartlieb to Quinn early in the corner of the end zone. It's trick and treat in the end zone. 10-0. Back to Bob and Tim.
Oh, that Big Ten is something. Indiana hopefully headed to the Rose Bowl, but they have to get past Iowa, and Iowa with the early lead 10-0 today. Vanderbilt player down. Let's check on his number before I mention a name there to make sure of who that is.
Looks like Steve Law, Bob, and Steve Law actually was playing for Andy Baker. So they're already thin in the secondary, and this will not help.
Vanderbilt is so thin in the secondary. As you said, Andy Baker was injured. Noel Wells has moved up to play the start at strong safety because Gentry moved over to free safety. David Kropp, the backup at strong safety, has not played it down and is a walk-on.
That's John Kropp.
How thin you're talking about.
That's John Kropp's son, who is the offensive coordinator here for George McIntyre. Coached with Steve Sloan out in Mississippi. David walked on here and has done a good job for him. I don't think he's necessarily ready for this kind of action yet, but that's the situation that you get into when you don't have the depth.
Steve Law was playing with an injured shoulder coming into this game, the sophomore from Athens, Georgia. There are a lot of Vanderbilt players who are playing today with various injuries. Of course, you get to this time of the year in any major college football program, you're going to get a lot of injuries. So Law is aided to his feet. Looks like that it is his left leg that gives him problem. There's the Vanderbilt MASH unit on the sideline.
1-6 WLAC-FM, Nashville Class FM sponsors this fine promotion each and every home game, along with Investors Federal.
Law sticking in there, and he gets his knee caught underneath in the pile, and looks like he hyperextended his knee.
Will receive $106 for each and every time the Commodore.
Sad to see that. When God made knees, though, he wasn't thinking about football, and it's probably the most vulnerable part of an athlete.
Second down, 6 from the 27-yard line now. Hand off to the fullback. Stevens can't get it outside. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 3rd down and 6 or more. Renford Reese, number 3, making the stop.
All this Vandy defense needs is a little confidence. A matter of staying on their feet, try to get to the ball, somebody make a play. Reese coming back. He's playing hurt. Andy Baker, number 2, you see him in there. He's going to be playing about 80%. You can bet that Dick Curl, the offensive coordinator for Rutgers, will try to get over the top on him before the afternoon's over.
3rd down, 6, Rutgers to Vandy 27. It is complete but short of the 1st down to Bruce Campbell, the tight end. He goes down at the 23-yard line, so it will be 4th down and about 2. Rutgers can make a choice here on going for it or kicking. They are sending in the field goal unit.
Chris Gaines did a nice job on that play, getting out underneath with the tight end. Was right there, forced Ernie to throw it a little wide.
Carmen Sclafani is the field goal kicker. Carmen is 8 out of 10 on the year. His long one is 46 yards. A walk-on from Toms River, New Jersey. 40-yard attempt is wide to the left. Difficult angle from the right side hash mark as the soccer-style kicker hooks it to the left and makes an even more severe angle. And Vanderbilt continues to lead 3-0 with 2:59 to go, quarter number 1.
We'd like to borrow your TV picture to show you. Clear picture scan. And pause. Picture in picture. Even 4 different channels previewed at once. All from this Curtis Mathis digital VCR. Part of the exciting and affordable new generation of video products at your nearby Curtis Mathis Center. Oh, you can have your picture back now, if you still want it back. Curtis Mathis, you've never known us like this before.
Dick Anderson on his way to building a major program at Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey. Rutgers has been very successful against Southeastern Conference schools. We'll show you their record here in just a moment. Ask them at Tennessee how But matter of fact, I remember a few years ago, about 1979, Rutgers goes into Tennessee, and the headline in the Tennessee paper in Knoxville says, Rutgers who? Well, after it was over, it was Rutgers 13, Volunteers 7, and they knew who Rutgers was.
And look at that. Hung in there close with Alabama in 80, tied Florida in Dick Anderson's first year, came back from a, I think it was a 21-0 deficit. Tied Kentucky last year and then beat Kentucky this year.
Vanderbilt ball, 2nd down 7 from the 26-yard line. Closing moments of the first quarter, 2:25 remaining. Out of the eye this time, Eric Jones wants to screen. It was covered. Tosses it to the fullback. McCarroll has the first down to the 35-yard line. Alec Hoke, number 69, with a stop. A gain of 10 yards. Vanderbilt continues to move the ball.
Eric Jones does a nice job of setting this up. This is a good job of acting. Pumps it to the strong side all the time, though. He's thinking weak side. As those linemen get out in front of it, Pearson. Boom. Alec Hoke dives to make the play. Good job by Hoke.
Johnson and Mitchell on the left side, Parker and Kasanovich, and fullback Andy McCarroll on the right side. 5 eligible receivers, nobody in the backfield. It's complete to Mitchell. Mitchell trying to break the tackle, cannot, gets to the 42-yard line. And you hear him say boo. That's because it's his name, Boo Mitchell, a junior from Valdosta, Georgia. That's his 101st career reception at Vanderbilt.
Of course, Vanderbilt over the last several years known for their good receivers. Boo is just another one in the line there. Boo is a junior, 101 catches. Carl Parker's got 96 coming into this game.
2nd down 3, Vanderbilt from the 42-yard line. What's this? A standard set for Vanderbilt. High formation, receivers on both sides. It's weird. Handoff to the fullback. McCarroll gets it to the 45-yard line. 2nd down about 3. He's close to the first down. They may have to measure some other scores. Boston College leading Tennessee early. Notre Dame, no problem with Navy. Indiana has got big problems at Iowa.
Well, Bill Mallory's done an excellent job. This has been great.
39 seconds to go, quarter number 1. 3rd down and less than a yard. The handoff is given to the wingback who gets the first down. That was Mark Johnson off the wing. Little 5'7" sophomore from Birmingham. And they'll spot the ball at about the 48-yard line, and the clock only runs down to 31 seconds before they stop it to move the sticks.
Watson Brown, we've seen some pained look on that young man's face over the years, and but I think he's beginning to feel the confidence of knowing that he's got good players coming on, and the things that he's doing, they're working. They just haven't been able to keep people off the board this year.
12 seconds to go in the quarter. Vanderbilt runs it with McCarroll inside Rutgers territory, and that'll be the last play of the first quarter at midfield. Vanderbilt leading by a score of 3-0 at homecoming 1987 versus the Scarlet Knights from Rutgers. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System.
I think you're really going to like this house. It's a new style we call the ranch. The sun deck is a...
Hey, Mom, this is Janice.
Cool house.
Come on, buddy, want to see Grandma? Let's go see Grandma. Watch your step there, Mama.
Luther, I've been walking up and down these steps for 40 years.
Users of nasal sprays invariably encounter the same problem.
Morning, boys.
Sprays that roll out of their nose or drip back into their throat. To avoid this, they'll do just about anything. But now there's new Sinex Ultrafine Mist. Its medicine doesn't roll out or drip back. It goes up and stays up, and that makes it better. So try new Sinex Ultrafine Mist. It goes up and stays up. From Vicks, of course.
Portions of SEC football are brought to you by the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
From Nashville, Tennessee, happy Halloween, everybody. I'm the one on this side.
Never a dull moment when you're with me.
I did that last night while you were working on your homework. I was carving my pumpkin. What do you think? Huh?
I think you need work. Kate, my little girl can do better now, I think. You know, Katie, give this guy some lessons.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Second down 7 from the 49-yard line. Vanderbilt now turned around going the other way, leading 3-0 in the first quarter. Opening play of quarter number 2. Eric Jones on the option. Gets the first down to the 37-yard line of Rutgers. Penalty marker at the line of scrimmage, however.
It's a look we hadn't seen, Bob, with Kasanovic in the trail position, in the toss position.
Holding Vanderbilt. It'll nullify the 12-yard gain. Our referee today, the man in the white hat, is Bill McDonald from the Independent Football Officials Association. Since this is a intersectional matchup between Vanderbilt and Rutgers. There's Bill and his associates.
Holding during the run on the offense, 10 yards, spot of the foul.
First quarter stats. Vanderbilt, look at that, 54-6 rushing, and most every team has been able to run at ease against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt stopping Rutgers, and Rutgers is not a bad rushing football team.
You know, Auburn had a little bit of problem running against Vanderbilt early on. Auburn had success when Vanderbilt blitzed, picking up the blitz and hitting receivers downfield. But if this Vanderbilt defense can play with confidence the rest of the game, there's no reason why they can't keep generating this kind of effect.
Second down 15 from the Vanderbilt 43. Out of the wishbone comes Carl Parker in motion. There's the shovel pass. Good speed from Mark Johnson, but not much going. About 5 back to the original line of scrimmage. Bob Spidell making the tackle, his 4th of the day, by the way. Let's have a look at Scott Miller, 74, their designated pass rusher.
He is a good pass rusher. He gets off the block of Darrell Holt, almost makes a stop on Johnson, but Miller's been a good big play performer for him up front. I think they'd like to see a little bit more consistency from him, but he's going to be a great player by the time he gets out of Rutgers.
Third down 9. It is complete for the first down to Boo Mitchell at the 34-yard line of Rutgers. 17-yard gain. Second catch of the day for Boo Mitchell, number 6.
Let's watch Boo Mitchell work here. On the outside, against the zone look. Spidell coming back, drop to the inside. If Bob Spidell can turn and locate that man, get a sense, or the defensive back behind him yell to him, inside, inside, he could start to drift in the right location. A fine job by Jones. He just unloaded that one.
First down 10 at the 34. Eric Jones, 7 out of 9 for 82 yards today. Gives it to the front man out of the option, that being the fullback Andy McCarroll, number 36. Speaking of good future for Vanderbilt, they have a good future at fullback. Andy McCarroll's only a sophomore at 230 pounds, and then true freshman Andy Iacenda, only 18 years old, from Valencia, and they are both excellent fullbacks.
Yes, they are. They're both good blockers and very effective ball carriers. As you mentioned, we saw Iacenda in his college football debut against Auburn, and it was very impressive against a good Auburn defense.
Second down 10 from the 34 now, Vanderbilt. Eric Jones, a lot of time to throw. He connects with Boo Mitchell again, this time for about 6 or 7 yards. Inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. Chris Evans, 45, and 71, George Bankos combining on the tackle for the Scarlet Knights. The Scarlet Knights defense has been out there a long time today, and there is a Rutgers player shaken up back at the 40-yard line.
It's Scott Miller. What's happening, Bob, is that Rutgers got a fine secondary. And they've got linebackers that are actually better against the run than they are against the pass. They're like most college linebackers. You know, let me hit them, coach. I'll hit them. You know, they don't like running away from the line of scrimmage.
Scott Miller, as you see, they're looking at his ankle. He came into this game with a sore ankle and may have re-injured it there. If it is, in fact, the ankle, you see the trainers looking at it right now. Also could be a cramp. We'll check on it and report back. But right now to our studios in Atlanta for this college football update.
Thank you, Bob. And we left Tim Brown of Notre Dame. He was on the way to the locker room with an injury, but he's all right. Back in the backfield now. Watch what happens on the reverse. It goes to Tim Brown. 31 yards. That sets up Anthony Johnson's 3rd touchdown of the day. Notre Dame leading 28-3. Back to Bob.
Here, 12:42 to go, second quarter. Vanderbilt leading. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System.
The most wanted criminal in the universe. It's not human. Has come to Earth.
Step out of the car slowly.
Now, nothing can stop it. Except the cops who followed it here. Am I crazy, or does this seem just a little bizarre?
You think it's over now?
The Hidden.
You're wrong.
Rated R. Now playing at a theater near you.
Introducing the G-Shock 5200 watch from Casio. The sports watch that's ready for action with a built-in shock absorber. It's tough, so tough, this G-Shock can take a slap in the face and not even flinch. The G-Shock 5200, just one of Casio's water-resistant sports watches. It's one tough watch to beat.
Vanderbilt leading 3-0. Second quarter action from Nashville, 12:39 remaining in the half. Third down conversion opportunity for the Commodores. Single setback as the fullback Andy McCarroll. Receivers spread out everywhere. Eric Jones on the option. He isn't going to get it. Stopped at the 27. If Vanderbilt goes for the field goal, it'll be about a 44 or 45-yard attempt. Johnny Clark hit a 54-yarder against Auburn, so he does have the leg for it. And let's see if the Vanderbilt kicker is coming in. In fact, he is. Be a 44-yard attempt just near the middle of the field. Johnny Clark certainly within his range. He has hit 7 field goals in a row. So go for number 8 in a row.
44-yard attempt.
Plenty of distance. No good. Hook to the left side. So the string ends at 7. Vanderbilt continues to lead by 3. 11:38 to go in the second quarter from Nashville.
Lafitte, Louisiana and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Lafitte means flat-bottom boat racing and a Cajun feast that'll set your mouth on fire. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer, cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place, an Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
It doesn't get any better than this.
Introducing the 1988 Dodge Raider. Pound for pound, the best standard-equipped import 4x4 on or off the road. With everything from automatic locking hubs Toyota's base 4Runner won't give you, to an inclinometer Nissan doesn't have. The way we see it, that's how a 4x4 like Dodge Raider should be. And the way the competition sees Raider is usually like this. Dodge import trucks. We're going places.
This portion of SEC football is brought to you by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this. And by Dodge Import Trucks and the new Dodge Ram 50. We're going places. 11:38 to go. Second quarter from Nashville. Vanderbilt 3, Rutgers nothing. Along with Tim Foley, this is Bob Neal. At homecoming 1987 for Vanderbilt. A 1-6 record. Vanderbilt hoping to be able to get a victory at home here against Rutgers. Rutgers, however, rolling a 5-2 record on the year. Scott Ernie on the first down. Plenty of time. Tucks it to run. Out of bounds at the 33-yard line, short of the first down. Billy Cunningham with a stop for Vanderbilt, gain of 6.
Scott Ernie said last year he had a tendency when he get in a tight situation sometimes to put the ball up, and that's what a young quarterback will do at times when they're not sure. They'll take a chance instead of taking a safe bet, throw it out of bounds or just to go ahead and take the sack. That time a good decision, pulls the ball down, picks up 6.
That's why Scott Ernie has thrown only 3 interceptions all year, 7 touchdown passes. Second down about 4 from the 32.5. Pitch to Mike Body, tailback, gets the first down out to the 40-yard line. Body's a junior from Long Island, New York. As the Rutgers information people were telling me, he's from out on the island. have several players from out on the island.
And another fine block by Dan Lipson. That time he got Joe Gentry, but he'd be a good guy. I'd like to follow him if I was running up through there. He's clearing some people out of the way.
Body gives Rutgers a very different look at tailback. He's 6'1", 210. Henry Henderson is 5'7", 160. He's got the lanky long strider, the short scat back. Change players. Ernie over the middle to the tailback body out to the 45-yard line, tripped up by Bob Scanlon.
Good first down call, because you could, most of the time in college, you're going to get a zone defense on first down. And so what happens is that little 4 or 5 yard pass should be good for you. As you see Steve Law head to the locker room. He had a knee injury. They said that he would return.
Maybe
looked like he's going to return.
Maybe in the second half. As Tim reported earlier, Andy Baker, who wasn't expected to play today, is in there, number 2 at the safety position. He has a very deep 5 groove suffered last week against Ole Miss. Second down 5. Wide open is Cobb inside Vanderbilt territory to the 34-yard line of the Commodores. Torrey Price tripped him up, and Cobb was open a long time.
Talented receiver. As you see Tyrone McQueen taking that little zone route across the field shallow. What happened is McQueen held up one of the linebackers, kept him from getting the depth that was necessary to keep the ball from being thrown to Brian Cobb.
Ernie 6 out of 8 for 72 yards now. And Rutgers on the drive. 1st and 10 at the 34 of Vanderbilt. Scott Ernie, a lot of time under pressure, going to be hauled out from behind at the 35-yard line. That was Damon Winston, his second tackle of the quarterback of the day. I don't know if they're going to call that officially a sack, because Ernie might have been running. They'll have to just decide officially in the press box. They'll just give Damon Winston a tackle on the play, but nevertheless a good one from Lansing, Michigan.
Saw extensive action as a freshman last year. That's another situation that you get into if you don't have a strong team. Sometimes you can play too soon. You're exposed to that competition too early, and it damages your confidence.
Second down 10. Rutgers out of the pro set formation now. Stevens and Body in the backfield. They give to Body. Tailback inside the 35 to about the 33-yard line. And it will bring up a 3rd down long for Rutgers. Some other scores from around the nation this afternoon. Miami back in action. Seems like they have a game and then a week off. They've had a lot of alternating Saturdays off this week. Clemson out in front early. Arkansas on Rice tie. North Carolina no problem with Maryland. 3rd down 9. Rutgers 0 for 3 on 3rd down conversions this afternoon. Vanderbilt blitzing. Ernie throwing. Incomplete, intended for Cobb. Good hit by Joe Gentry. Shook it loose from Brian Cobb.
They try to get Cobb across the middle in that 13-yard area. Cobb coming over the middle. Gentry responds well. They tried to clear the middle by running James Jenkins through there, but Gentry read the play. And go ahead, celebrate, Joe. You haven't had much chance lately.
Carmen Sclafani is going to attempt a 50-yard field goal. Sclafani's long on the year so far is 46 yards. There's a timeout on the field. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System.
A6, hurry and you'll make it.
Delta Airlines ticket agent Sam Singletary knows how to get people moving.
Mr. Franklin, your bag.
But sometimes he has to show off a few moves of his own. The kind of moves that made him a first-string halfback. Sam Singletary shares a feeling with everyone at Delta. He loves what he's doing, and it shows.
Thanks.
He's the king.
It shows.
Their mission is to find a way through the wilderness. Spencer Tracy and Robert Young, Northwest Passage, 10:30 Eastern on the Superstation, Sunday morning.
TBS. NBA is here to play.
Kareem and the world champion Lakers battle Michael Air Jordan and the Bulls. Let's all go to the hoop with Chicago and L.A. Live at 8:05 Eastern on Superstation TBS.
Tuesday is the best. Superstation TBS at the hoop.
Carmen Sclafani is number 15, the junior from Toms River, New Jersey. missed a 40-yard attempt earlier. This one is for 50. The holder is Matt O'Connell, the punter. Good leg, and it looks good from here. It is good, and this game is tied. That's the longest of his career for Carmen Sclafani. He hits it from 50, and the game is tied at 3 with 8:32 remaining in the second quarter.
He could have been back 15 yards.
He was pumped and ready for that one. It's tied at 3. By the way, we talked last week about Tim Foley being named to the all-time Purdue defensive team. Tim, congratulations again, and look at the company that these other fellas are keeping.
Oh, Leroy Keys. Rod Woodson, now he's playing in the NFL.
And, of course, Tim has also been named to the all-time Miami Dolphins defensive team. And not bad either. That Dick Anderson, by the way, is not today's coach. I guess everybody who's a football fan knows that. But look at the names. They called them the no-name defense. I always thought they were names.
No. Then there was, look, I didn't even make the highlight film that year, you know, so.
This is Tim. Are you the shortstop or the football player Foley, right?
That's it. You know, we had some fakers. I mean, Buonacani, everybody knew who he was, Jake, but anonymity is what you want as a defensive back. You don't want them talking about you. If you don't say your name, then you're doing a good job.
Giesler kicking off for Rutgers as this game is now tied. It's down to number 20, Mark Johnson. Finds a little crack out to the 28-yard line. Vanderbilt, Rutgers tied at 3. He was tackled by 50, Chris Piquel. Speaking of pro football players, Chris's brother, Bill, of course, plays for the Los Angeles Raiders from Maspeth, New York.
You have 2 other brothers that played here, too, right, Bob?
George
and Jim. Family affair at Rutgers for the Piquels.
First down, 10 Vanderbilt. 8:26 to go in the second quarter, tied at 3. Eric Jones, plenty of time to throw. Finds Boo Mitchell again for the first down at the 45-yard line of Vanderbilt. Mitchell racking up some yards this afternoon. 16 yards on that one and 46 yards on the day in 4 catches.
Let's watch Booth work here. Again, he's working against the zone, so that Austin kind of turns him over, expecting underneath help from the linebackers. They've got to locate that receiver a little bit more effectively and get underneath, or on first down, get a little bit more pressure. Go ahead and let these quarterbacks lock up. I think that Rutgers matches up very well against the Vanderbilt wide receivers. Can probably handle them.
First down, 10 from the 45. Off the play fake, right over the middle. It is complete again for another first down. Inside the 40 to Nabil El Shashai. Pat Yudovich with a tackle, gain of 16, and that is Shashai's first catch ever as a collegiate football player.
You got Boo Mitchell going deep, Parker running a deep outside route. Shashai finds a soft area over the middle, drills it in there.
Vanderbilt moving it easily against Rutgers between the 30s, but 2 drives have stalled. One drive stalled at the 3-yard line, and the other one at the 27-yard line. First down, 10. Here's the draw to Crawford. Read well by Rutgers. Gain of only a couple of yards. Chris Piquel with the stop again, the sophomore linebacker.
Jones has been impressive. The first time that we saw Eric Jones play, and I watched film on him, he didn't look as though he looked like he was throwing the ball sidearm, almost like a little shot put. But when given time to set up and step into the throw, he's just done very well today.
6:58 remaining in the second quarter. It is second down 7 from the 37-yard line of Rutgers. Straight drop again for Jones. To Crawford. Stopped short of the first down, knocked out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Darren Selez with the stop, number 37, junior from Arlington, New Jersey.
And you know, when you have a bad day like Eric had against Ole Miss last week, you come back with something to prove. You come back with a little bit more intensity, a little more concentration, and there's a little anger in there. And he's whipping it around today.
Vanderbilt 2 out of 4 on third down conversions, but they've not been able to convert a couple of big ones to keep drives alive. Let's see how they do this time out of the wishbone. Here's the handoff to Crawford. Dives for the first down. Everett Crawford near the 25-yard line. Tackled by Bob Spidell, his 5th of the afternoon.
This crowd is starting to come to life again. And Rutgers doesn't really want that to happen.
Look at that, Columbia. Oh, hail Columbia, tied at 7. A tie would ruin everything. I think they'd rather keep the streak or get a win. That's Carter Giles who's down for Rutgers.
And for those of you that don't know Carter, that's Butch, actually. And if you don't know who we're talking about, Carter is his real name. Maybe he didn't want that released. But we'll be back right after this.
Other Japanese imports see the 1988 Dodge Ram 50? To Toyota, Ram 50's roomier standard cab looks like this. To Mazda, Ram 50's more powerful standard engine looks like this. And to Nissan, Ram 50's bigger standard payload looks like this. So if you're looking for more than you bargained for, you'll find it at your Dodge dealer, along with the roomy new Ram 50 sports cab. Dodge Import Trucks, we're going places.
There's Carter Giles being aided off the field, and he's... The knee went into the locker room. They say they think he can return in the second half. First down from the 26-yard line. Fake the option, now under pressure. Here comes Eric. Loses a couple of yards. Good pressure that time from Bob Spidell. Enough pressure to make the stop, actually. Eric Jones goes down for a loss of about a yard.
And that time Rutgers locked up man-to-man. Sean Washington covering Boo Mitchell and Darren Sellers running with Carl Parker, and they did a fine job of coverage there, and the rush got him. I think you'll see more of that from Rutgers. They'll be able to get away from the zone a little bit.
Second down, 11. Now they say that Steve Law will not return to this ball game with his sore knee. It is complete to Parker to the 11-yard line. First down, Vanderbilt. Carl Parker with his first catch of the afternoon, and it was a big one.
You're going to see Carl Parker here take in number 97 in his career. Mitchell dragging across. Mitchell should probably delay a little bit. Parker finds an open area. Sellers in pursuit. See it again. See Garea blitzing up the middle. Chris Evans, looping around, trying to get pressure.
First and 10 from the 11-yard line. Game's tied at 3 late in the second quarter. Handoff Iacenda takes us 235 pounds down to about the 7.5-yard line. Chuck Paul with the stop from Winchester, Ohio, the defensive left tackle for Rutgers. That's time remaining in the second quarter. Tied at 3. Vanderbilt headed to the 3-yard line of Rutgers in the first quarter. Unable to get it into the end zone. Had to take the field goal. Wide open, Parker, touchdown, Vanderbilt. Parker with 6 touchdown catches on the year, and he leads all Southeastern Conference receivers in touchdown catches.
He's the money man. When you get down in close, he's the guy that can take it home for you. Tough spot for Darren Sellers. Covering that slot man, especially when you're a strong safety. And Parker, not a lot of speed, but good quickness. And he knows where he wants to get to when he gets down in close. As you mentioned, he leads the SEC in touchdown receptions.
Johnny Clark for the point after attempt. It is good. And Vanderbilt leads their homecoming game by a score of 10-3 over Rutgers with 4:36 to go in the half. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System.
We're not a company, but outstanding people come to us every day. People who want to make a contribution to a team and do work that really counts. People eager to see new places, do the unusual, and find the unusual. People who'll become your friends for life. People just like you. We're not a company, we're your country. We're the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Army. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
Yo!
What news of the Earthlings?
Totally high-tech, sir.
Indeed? How?
Check out these Casio watches. That new Casio Pulse watch checks your pulse rate.
Not bad for a Zog my age.
Casio's new databank watch remembers up to 50 phone numbers, dates, hey, whatever.
Amazing.
And they've got more new watches than you can shake a board at.
Splendid. I can always use another Casio.
They do a lot more than just tell time.
Carl Parker caught his 6th touchdown pass on the season to give Vanderbilt the 10-3 lead. It was a pass of 8 yards, a 71-yard drive.
Rutgers locked up man-to-man. See Gurria going into blitz, number 45 Evans, and they don't get there. They don't put any pressure on Jones, and that leaves Darren Sillis out on an island by himself with Carl Parker, and he's going to lose that matchup. There's just too much room to run with a clever wide receiver from. I mean, if you're on the outside, it's a lot easier because you can wall them off from the inside and force them to go outside. But when the guy's in the slot, you almost have to play him head up. So it's a tough spot to be in.
Well, Eric Jones coming back after his terrible game last week, in which he was also banged up with neck and rib injuries against Ole Miss. And Jones has 170 yards total offense. He's 13 out of 15 for 149 passing, 1 TD, and 1 interception. And Vanderbilt with 213 yards of total offense, holding Rutgers to 93 so far.
You see Washington locked up on Boo Mitchell. Boo dragging across the middle. They're also trying to get somebody open in the flat. But Parker put a nice move on Sillis, and then he had all that room to run to, and a well-thrown ball by Jones. Nice and easy, laid it up. Didn't give the defensive back an opportunity to jump up and knock it down. So just a well-executed play, and that's not been unusual for Vanderbilt on offense this year. They put a lot of points on the board.
20 Brian Cobb, 22 Eric Young, back deep to receive the kickoff from Johnny Clark, and the Vanderbilt homecoming crowd getting a little enthusiastic now. They haven't had much to cheer about this year. From the 8-yard line, it is Eric Young. Hit hard at the 20, bounced out to the 24. First man down there to put the hit on him was Jamie Gillespie, a senior from McMinnville, Tennessee. So Rutgers, first down 10 from the 24. A lot of Bowl Scouts watching Rutgers with their 5-2 mark. Rutgers has this game, then they'll play at home against Pitt, then at West Virginia, then at Temple. Most people feel Rutgers has to win at least 8 games to get a bowl bid. And of course, 9 would virtually assure them of getting a bowl bid somewhere. Scouts from the Independence Bowl, Peach Bowl, Citrus Bowl, Bluebonnet, all interested, among those interested. Now they're trailing 10-3. Ernie. Incomplete. It may have been picked off. Vanderbilt ball at the 45-yard line. It was Chris Gaines who got the loose ball. It bounced off of Tyrone McQueen, and Gaines with a spectacular interception.
You're going to see Vanderbilt up faking the blitz here. Up pressure, Gaines starts getting depth. The linebackers start dropping out of there. Nice throw by Ernie. Finds that open area right on the money. Tyrone, those are the kind you ought to catch. I know you agree with that. Let's watch Gaines. Reading the quarterback, gets back in that area, starts to move toward the football. Here he come to Papa. Catch, good hustle by Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines, they're touting him for All-American here at Vanderbilt. And I'll tell you what, he's an excellent candidate. He's going to break the Vanderbilt all-time career tackles mark before the season's over. Jones going for everything. That's Parker. Incomplete. He overthrew him by a step or two. Penalty markers are down. At the 6-yard line, Derek Baker, 19, covering on the play. There's the referee with the signal.
You call it on the offense.
Pass interference against Parker.
Yeah. They tried to get a quick touchdown after a turnover. That's something that you can expect. Parker going down, Kasanovich going down the middle. Derek Baker read the ball well, in position, trying to locate the ball. And I'm not sure that, of course, you know me. I like all calls that go against the offense. Being an old defensive back, but you know, I think that's inconsequential right there. Derek just short-armed it, and I'm not sure Parker got in the way.
Yeah, I would disagree with the call myself. He was definitely going for the ball. Nevertheless, loss of down and the 15-yard penalty. Back to the 40-yard line of Vanderbilt now. We're at a second down, 25. 4:12 to go in the first half. Commodores lead 10-3. Out of the eye. Jones pitches to Crawford. Reverse Parker. Rutgers plays it well, however. Parker thrown for a big loss. Rutgers had apparently seen that on the film.
Second and 25. Let's run a reverse. Why not? Who cares? You're going to run a reverse, a draw, or screen when you're ahead by this amount of time. You're really not going to try to get any more points on the board from this situation anyway. Unless you can do it in practical ways. Nice hit by Austin. They've got 4 defensive backs that'll hit you. And, offensively, you might try to get them involved in some kind of a play action fake and throw it over the top.
3.5 minutes to go in the first half. 3rd and 27. They develop a screen. That's Crawford. Back to the original line of scrimmage, and the ball came loose. It is Rutgers' ball after the 17-yard gain at the 45-yard line of the Scarlet Knights.
Well, we talked about draw or screen, and that's what they came back with. It's a safe call, but if you get a couple of good blocks, it's got a chance. And Everett Crawford does get a couple of good blocks, makes a nice run, trying to hang on. Who ripped that out of there? Was it Hoke?
Hoke, I believe, did rip it out.
Spidell, one of the two.
Vaughn McCoy fell on it. Vaughn McCoy, sophomore nickelback. Number 12 came up with the ball, but I think you're right. Hoke was right around the play. Rutgers ball after the turnover, trailing 10-3. Plenty of time, 3:19 to go in the first half. And here's Henry Henderson, the little tailback, squirting his way out to about the 49-yard line. Bob Scanlon tripped him up. Might have been Spidell that ripped this ball out too. Let's look at the replay again. Watch number 63.
Number 63 is who we're looking for yet. Bob Spidell gets a hold of Crawford and thinking turnover, thinking we need to get the ball, we need to make something happen, and he works on that thing as Derek Baker almost lifts Crawford off the ground. That ball might have been blown dead prior to the fumble. That's a possibility.
Second down 6. It is complete to Cobb. He's hit hard. Ball came loose after the whistle sounded, and I believe they're going to say his forward progress gives Rutgers the first down inside the 45-yard line of Vanderbilt. Scanlon with the tackle. Columbia, after their first win since 1864. Michigan leading Northwestern in the second quarter.
1864. That's
right.
Being a little
Look it
hard
up.
on it.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Penn State, West Virginia, tied at 7. Henderson down at the 40, gain of about 4 yards on the play. So Rutgers watching the clock run very quickly from their point of view with 2:13 remaining in the first half. Rutgers trailing by a score of 10-3.
And Dick Curl, the offensive coordinator for Rutgers, likes to keep Scott Ernie on the move. He doesn't necessarily like the drop back. He likes to keep him getting out of there. So you drop back and then roll out.
Tipped away nicely by the Vanderbilt defensive back. That was Randy Pyle, number 41. It was intended for Eric Young. Play by Pyle, the extra linebacker in there.
Well, he came in for Scanlon. As you see him step up in there, we got to look at him. Good drop. The ball a little underthrown. Ernie could have got a little bit more air under that one because they had a soft spot in that too deep zone. But the good play by Pyle once the ball was in the air, reacting to it, getting a hand on it.
It'll be second down 6 now for Rutgers. They'll spot the ball just outside the 40-yard line of Vanderbilt. Rutgers has 3 timeouts remaining. There was a penalty marker down. Here's the announcement.
Illegal motion. Offense. Declined by the defense. Third down.
Minute 54 to go in the first half. Vanderbilt leading 10-3. Big conversion situation for Rutgers here. Rutgers has not been successful on third down. 0 for 4 on third down conversions on the afternoon.
Vanderbilt has been playing well defensively. Dick Hopkins has to be very happy with that.
Single setback is the fullback Stevens. Ernie looking at a blitz, gets it away. It is complete. McQueen is open for the first down and more. To the 22-yard line goes Tyrone McQueen. Tackled by Billy Cunningham. Clock down to 1:45. Gain of 18 yards. Vanderbilt's going to call timeout here. They're definitely down in Sclafani field goal range, and Rutgers, of course, wanting more out of it, trailing 10-3.
This shows a lot of confidence, I think. This shows the confidence that Ernie has in McQueen. Last time he threw it at him, McQueen coughed it up, and it was an interception for Vanderbilt. This time, pow, McQueen takes it and heads upfield. A dangerous man once he's got the football. Tyrone McQueen was their most improved offensive player in the spring, and it's exciting to watch.
Hails from Rahway, New Jersey. Speaking of New Jersey, Rutgers is the state university of New Jersey. A lot of folks who aren't familiar with the eastern part of the country, I think, sometimes thinks that Rutgers is a private school. Very large, several campuses, 41,000 students, and they're building a good football program. They should have one. A lot of very good football talent comes out of the state of New Jersey. Dick Anderson is making every effort to keep that talent at New Jersey instead of Penn State or Southern Cal, all over the country. Halftime, we'll have highlights of that Indiana-Iowa game. Iowa was out to an early lead there. Notre Dame romping over Navy today. We'll have scores from other ball games and also the Vanderbilt Marching Band. It is homecoming here in Nashville today.
I'd like to thank Craig Sager for not mentioning the Purdue score this week.
You mentioned it enough last week to last the season, didn't he?
Yeah. How come Purdue always has a 0? No, not really.
Not like the old days, huh, Jim? 45 to go in the half. First down 10, Rutgers. They hand it to Kurt Stevens. Big hole for the fullback inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. Kurt Stevens is a good runner. That was his third carry of the day. He's 6'1", 215. Has about 250 yards rushing on the year. Fifth-year student. Mature. He's a man, not a kid.
Offensive captain, and as you mentioned before, I think good inside runner and a good receiver.
Kurt Stevens, interesting story. When Dick Anderson was coaching at Penn State, he recruited Kurt Stevens and said to Kurt, frankly, he says, you know, you just may be a step too slow when he was at Penn State. So Dick Anderson goes to Rutgers and thinks maybe he can play here, a program on the bill. And Kurt Stevens says it's a personal victory of him because he said here he is, he's now a senior, he's a co-captain, and he's made it for this man who always liked him but thought maybe he was just a little bit underdeveloped physically. And Kurt Stevens has proven to be a very fine football player at Rutgers. And now for Tim Foley.
Okay.
Some good news. Purdue leads Wisconsin. First down 10 at the 12-yard line. Rutgers trailing 10-3, closing moments of the quarter. It is complete to Young. Nice move inside the 5 to the 4. The clock continues running to minute 15, minute 14, but Rutgers has all their timeouts left and plenty of time to get this ball in the end zone. Now they have called timeout with a minute 15 remaining. So Vanderbilt's defense unable to hold Rutgers after the fumble turned the ball over to the Scarlet Knights at the 45-yard line of Rutgers.
Watson Brown has not looked as much in pain this week as we've seen him in the past. His team playing well. As you look at the SEC schedule for today, Mississippi State at Alabama.
And Jeff Berger, Auburn's quarterback, has been ruled eligible to play for the Auburn Tigers against Florida. Big game tonight in Auburn, Alabama. Watson Brown worried right now about the second down 3 for Rutgers at his own 5-yard line.
And he thinks he can get this team to be competitive. Last year he said he went out and recruited, and they came out with a recruiting class that was in the top 30 major colleges, and he went against the big boys on several players and came away with those players, and he feels if he can do that a couple years in a row, then he'll have the horses to be able to compete. You know, you can dodge around and do some clever and innovative things on offense, but when it gets down to defense, if you don't have the folks that can get after it, they can find it.
Second down 3 from the 5. Rutgers. Play fake. Ernie under pressure has to throw it away. Chris Gaines was all over him back at the 20. Scott Ernie, being the mature redshirt sophomore, was wise enough to take the hit and throw it out of the end zone to live to play another day. Now it will be third down 3 from the 5. Minute 9 to go in the half. So on a 3rd and 3 against balanced, very balanced Rutgers offensive team, you just don't know what they're liable to do in terms of run or pass down here.
especially as their offense has opened up, Bob. Thrown the ball a lot more in the last 3 games than they had earlier in the year.
3rd and 3 from the 5. Stevens fullback in motion. Pitch, power run to the right side. Close to the first down. Henry Henderson carrying. The significant thing here in terms of Rutgers and Vanderbilt's concern will be where they spot the ball and whether he got the first down. I think he got it. Yes. First down goal, Rutgers. Clock only down to 1:02.
Now, if they don't get a first down there, folks would criticize, I'm sure, Dick Curl or Dick Anderson about conservative offense. I can remember a game we were playing the Minnesota Vikings in a game we had to win 4th and 4. 4th and 4 on the 4-yard line going in. And Greasy runs a sweep. And the guy goes in, Merck went in unmolested. And so, you know, you take those chances every once in a while. You know what they might be expecting and feel you could, a conservative call might take advantage of what they're not expecting.
Dick Anderson talking to Scott Ernie on the sideline. Dick Anderson says he lets his coaches coach and he merely participates in the critical decisions. And I would say that first down and goal from the 2 would be a critical decision.
I think so. I think that it'd fall in that category.
Dick may step in here.
Right, yeah. And, you know, he used to make all the calls for Penn State from 1981 through 84. He was the offensive coordinator there. And I'm sure that Paterno operated in the same fashion. All good head coaches do.
Minute 2 to go in the half. Vandy 10-3. First and goal from the 2 Rutgers. Henry Henderson does not get into the end zone on that play. Clock running at 56, 55 and counting. Rutgers has 1 timeout remaining. At the 1-yard line. 2nd down goal from the 1. Clock running, 47 and counting. You see it in the bottom right. Second down. Stevens, the big fullback, scores. Touchdown, Rutgers. Stevens with his 4th touchdown on the year. Most of them runs just like that. He's a big truckload, good short yardage back. And Bob Scanlon for Vanderbilt, number 64, the linebacker, slow to get up.
He's pointing at his knee. So he twisted his knee, got caught up. There's a lot of traffic down in here. Look at number 68, Doug Strickland getting a pull. Lips, it actually misses. Henderson leading the way up there, but the fullback, Kurt Stevens, does a lot of that on his own. And Scanlon caught underneath.
Scanlon kind of got hit from behind as he came into the play there. And a lot of injuries, of course, happen that way. As the play is about to end, somebody gets blocked off of somebody else, and Scanlon is down. Vanderbilt can sore afford to lose him. They're working on his right knee, as you see. Scanlon, the junior from Chicago, 2nd leading tackler, and he makes a great combination inside with Chris Gaines. And the 2 players who have been consistent all year for Vanderbilt are Gaines and Scanlon on a weak defensive unit. We have 32 seconds to go in the half. Rutgers as their point after team in, trailing 10-9. This is the result. This touchdown drive, 11 plays and 55 yards, is the result of a fumble by Vanderbilt at the 45-yard line of Rutgers. Well, that's good news, at least from the early appearances, as Scanlon leaves under his own power.
Bob's family back in Chicago takes a deep breath. Glad to see he's okay.
13 Chicago area players on the Vanderbilt team. Sclafani with the point after attempt. It is good. And this game is tied at 10 with 32 seconds to go in the half. So Vanderbilt once again with an early lead in the ball game. First 3-0. Then it was tied at 3. Then Vanderbilt 10-3. And now, after the fumble and a 55-yard drive, Rutgers has tied it at 10. Vanderbilt got a 20-yard field goal from Clark when they could not take it in from the 3-yard line. Rutgers with an excellent defensive stand in the first quarter. That was the only scoring in the first quarter. And in the second, Rutgers got a 50-yard career long by Carmen Sclafani. Then Vanderbilt with a 71-yard drive and an 8-yard TD reception by Parker. And now, after the fumble, the 55-yard drive by Rutgers, and the fullback Kurt Stevens took it over from the 1.
Dick Anderson was on the sideline a little bit earlier, encouraging his defense after they came off the field, after Vanderbilt had that drive, and he realizes how important this game is for their program. They can ill afford to stub their toe on Vanderbilt if they want to keep their bowl hopes alive when they're looking at Pitt and
West Virginia. And West Virginia giving Penn State trouble today. They were tied last time we checked. I think a loss to Vanderbilt would eliminate Rutgers' bowl hopes. Boo Mitchell out to the 26-yard line. 27 seconds remaining in the half. Vanderbilt with one timeout. So I don't know if Vanderbilt will take a chance on the gamble here, go in and regroup, try to break this tie at halftime. Homecoming in Nashville. We'll have highlights of that Indiana-Iowa Big Ten game for you, along with some other highlights and scores at halftime. We return to our studios with Craig Sager. Also, the Vanderbilt band will be performing here in Nashville. Vanderbilt's going to try to get something out of it. A little screen pass. And some running room. That's Mark Johnson. Does he get out of bounds? 16 seconds remaining. They'll stop the clock for the first down. Certainly. Gain of 20 yards to Mark Johnson out here to the 45-yard line. 16 seconds to go. Johnson turned something out of the little dink pass over to the left side.
And I think what he's saying there is just don't take any chances. If it's wide open, let it go in there. If it's not, don't take a chance. We don't want any turnovers in this situation.
16 seconds to go in the half. Tied at 10. Vanderbilt with everybody out wide, everybody go long. Some guys go short. They attempted to throw to the short man, Andy Iasenda. It is incomplete. Stop the clock with 11 seconds, and it'll be second down.
You get down to a situation here now, Bob, where you know, unless they returned an interception or a fumble for a touchdown, you can't really get hurt. You can take a few more chances in this particular area. You might try to hit it over that soft area, over the middle, so you can come up with a field goal, get 3 quick points before the end of the half.
On the second down, good time here for Eric Jones. He's just going to take it out of bounds and stop the clock at the 49-yard line of Rutgers with 3 seconds remaining. Time for one more play for Vanderbilt. Of course, Rutgers in a prevent defense. They had defensive players back as deep as the 10-yard line that time, so it's hard to throw over the top of that.
Now it's just throw it into the end zone. The Atlanta Falcons were awfully good at this several years ago, weren't they?
1978, I was broadcasting Falcons football games when the Falcons made the playoffs for the first time. The Hail Mary passes from Bartkowski to various players like Alfred Jenkins. Complete to Parker. But he does not get free of the defenders as they were back with the umbrella down to the 28. Statistics will go on the board for Parker, a gain of 20 yards. And might I say for Eric Jones, who's over 200 yards passing here in the first half. It's a tie game at 10. Factor in this ball game. Rutgers with a drive toward the end of the first half to tie this game at 10. Now Vanderbilt will have an opportunity to receive the kickoff from Giesler. It is Boo Mitchell and Mark Johnson deep for the Commodores, and the second half is underway. It's a short one. Johnson at the 14. Penalty marker is down at about the 30-yard line on the return. Return of 20 from Mark Johnson. Bernard Battle with the tackle. And our referee makes the call. Clipping is the call against Vanderbilt. That'll move them back. Bill McDonald is the official. There's the Alka-Seltzer Plus first half statistics. Look at the passing yardage. Over 300 yards between the two teams. And the rushing yardage down for both, as both of them playing pretty good defensively. Vanderbilt, something that Watson Brown tries to do all year, and that is control the clock and the ball.
You know, in 5 minutes more in one half, that's quite a bit of dominance in that particular area. But Vanderbilt has always been pretty balanced run and pass also, and they're 208 to 70. So Rutgers doing a fine job against the run, but Vanderbilt just electing to go to the air.
Vanderbilt unusually using the eye. They'd only used it, I believe, one other play all year prior to today's game. The play fake to Crawford. The screen develops. Crawford gets the ball, gets the block. And out to the 31-yard line. Crawford for the first down on a 16-yard carry, and Vanderbilt back to where they had the ball on the kickoff return, save for the penalty.
So again, Jones does a nice job of selling the screen. Now watch Chuck Paw. Oh. Mama, make me taller. Help me jump. But good run by Everett Crawford.
First down 10 from the 31-yard line now. Continued to play out of the eye. The last thing Rutgers expected to see. Here's Crawford again. First down again. Near the 45-yard line. Everett Crawford having the best game I've seen him have in a long time. He is the senior tailback from Huntsville, Alabama. A talented player, as you said, Tim. You've seen him make a lot of technical progress in becoming a high-quality football player.
4th on the all-time receiver list here at Vanderbilt. 8th on the all-time rushing list. A guy that comes up with big plays for you. I'm sure he was discouraged about his fumble at the end of the first half.
First down 10. McCarroll, the fullback. He gets about 3 yards out near the 50-yard line. At halftime, I was talking to country music star Bill Anderson, a very big Commodore fan, as are many of the country music stars. Bill Anderson is performing tonight at the Grand Ole Opry here in Music City, USA. Love to make the trips to Nashville.
Speaking of country music, we had dinner with Roy Kramer, the athletic director at Vanderbilt. Missed Sarah Joe. I imagine Sarah Joe's up in Michigan probably watching this. Roy's lovely wife.
Second down 5 from the 49-yard line. McCarroll to left guard again. Extra effort close to the first down. Has to cross, actually has to touch the 45-yard line of Rutgers for the first down. It will bring up third down short for Vanderbilt.
Let's watch Bob Spidell here. Sits in there. It's a good head-up stick on McCarroll, but McCarroll is a strong running back. He got those legs going and just kind of moved in there for a couple more yards. Both Spidell and Gurria, they're replacing Stowe and Bachman, who played last year for Rutgers and the 3 previous years, and they're both young and they're still gaining experience, and they're going to develop into good linebackers as the years go on.
He used Bob's watch band. Third down 1, Vanderbilt. First down to about the 43-yard line. Early in the third quarter from Nashville, along with Tim Foley, this is Bob Neal. Spotter Kim Anderson doing his usual fine job. Alex Vergara on the statistics, and our booth being managed by our commando, Nikki Nichols. She's not really a commando. She wears a commando watch that is in complete control of the booth. 12:38 to go, third quarter. First down. Tied at 10. McCarroll to the 40. Vanderbilt showing a different look on this drive. They had the screen pass, but other than that, running with the tailback and the fullback, although still using a bit of the option look with Eric Jones, the quarterback.
You got to figure that Rutgers is going to make adjustments on defense to stop what you've been effective doing in the first half. And as you look at Eddie O'Neill there, you can either feel like you keep doing what you're doing until they stop you, or you come out in the second half and show them something different. Give them a little bit different look.
Second down 5. A long 5. This time Crawford gets the hole, gets the first down to the 31-yard line. Vanderbilt keeping it on the ground. Gain of 8 that time from Everett Crawford, and Crawford now has 44 yards and 9 carries.
Let's look at the blocking up front. Number 79, Greg Smith. Number 59, Charles Pearson. Good trap block. Andy McCarroll. It's a nice block, and Crawford keeps his feet scrambling, fighting, scratching for more yardage.
First down 10, Vanderbilt at the 31. They started at the Vanderbilt 15-yard line. Opening drive of the third quarter. Rutgers hoping for a bowl bid. They need a significant win over Vanderbilt here today to get one. That's their opinion. Crawford, big hole. Everett Crawford running hard to the 14-yard line, first down. Gain of 17 yards, 61 yards on the day now.
Now you're going to see Kasanovic coming in motion. We saw that look earlier, fakes the dive, and now they're going to trap it back to the weak side. They're catching Rutgers over pursuing, and Crawford trying to put a move on Vaughn McCoy, but McCoy makes a nice tackle there to keep Crawford from getting into the end zone.
Vanderbilt's been down here several times today and managed to score only 1 touchdown, though. Eric Jones on the option to the 5, close to the first down. Well executed. Rutgers getting used to that fullback handoff out of the I formation, went for it, Jones kept it, ran the option.
Dick Anderson standing next to Eddie O'Neill. Eddie was the former Detroit Lion player, was out of football for a couple of years. After he played in Green Bay, wanted to stay away from football for a while and went into business, but couldn't live without it. Came back and coached for Sam White in Indiana, now coaching here at Rutgers.
Second down, 1 from the 5. Crawford driving for the first down to the 2.5-yard line goes Everett Crawford. Vanderbilt with a powerful drive against Rutgers to open the second half, keeping it on the ground virtually all the way. Vanderbilt has thrown only 1 pass on this drive. First and goal from the 2.5-yard line. Vanderbilt racking up yardage today and keeping the Rutgers offense off the field, I might add, by running that clock. Crawford to the 1. It'll be second down, goal from the 1 for the Commodores.
Most offenses are not truly diversified. Most offenses, just like look at the old Dolphins. The old Dolphins could run the ball real well. They threw it all right, but they ran the ball best. And now with Marino, they throw the ball. And most offenses do one or the other thing significantly amount better. And that makes sense. Vanderbilt's really well balanced.
Second and goal, power offense. Crawford airborne, touchdown, Vanderbilt. An 85-yard drive.
Watch from the back of the end zone. McCarroll up over the top. That's Barnett up over the top, and Crawford following him in. Just a fine job by the Vanderbilt offensive front 5 also. Moving Rutgers off the ball, creating that momentum at the line of scrimmage.
A lot of injuries up there. A lot of players who don't have much playing time doing the good job for Vanderbilt today. Clark's point after is good. Vanderbilt leads 17-10. 9:36 to go in the third quarter from Nashville, Tennessee.
We know some guys who get up early in the morning just to rock and roll. Run. Racing fans, this bud's for you.
Imagine a vehicle with a rare combination of talents. A driver-oriented cockpit, electronically fuel-injected power, a rear-wheel anti-lock brake system, and responsive ride and handling. Now imagine all this not in a car, but in a pickup. The big new full-size 1988 Sierra pickup from GMC Truck. But beware, once you see how much a GMC Truck offers, you'll find that one just won't be enough. GMC Truck. It's not just a truck anymore.
This portion of SEC football is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. For all you do, this Bud's for you. By your local GMC truck dealer who wants you to know that at GMC Truck, it's not just a truck anymore.
Down on the goal line, Bob, the objective of the defensive line is to get the ball carrier, to jump, and then the linebacker is supposed to be there to hit him in the air. Now watch this. Rutgers taking a different tack, lineman going up over the top. Look at number 36, Andy McCarroll gets a good job block on Spidell, and then Gurria gets cut off by Holt. Neither one of them are able to get to Everett Crawford in the air to stop that momentum. So a nice job of blocking by number 36, that young man, Andy McCarroll. Good job, Andy.
And no problem. 6'3", 230 pounds flying at you through the air. I'd like to be Everett Crawford in that situation. Crawford amassed some statistics on that drive, folks. There you see the drive statistics. Crawford had 43 yards rushing and 16 yards receiving in the 85-yard drive that took 5.5 minutes. Vanderbilt 17, Rutgers 10, 9:36 to go third quarter. Rutgers needs to get untracked here. Bowl scouts are watching them with their 5-2 record. Rutgers struggled by their own admittance last week, but defeated Army 27-14. But Rutgers has not been really hitting on all cylinders for the last couple of games and struggling thus far in this ball game today. Cobb and Young are back for Rutgers. It's out of bounds. There will be a 5-yard penalty. Trying to kick away from Cobb. Clark is kicking too far away. There's the Scarlet Knight, in case you wondered what a Scarlet Knight looks like.
You know, often in that situation, the kickoff man, Johnny Clark's trying to put the ball down in the corner, and so they can trap the ball carrier, don't give him 2 ways to go, keep him right down in the corner of the field. And he's had a little bit of a problem this year.
Miami, not what you'd call a problem with East Carolina this afternoon. 4th quarter score. Notre Dame rolling easily. Indiana still trailing at the half, 20-7. And check this one. Wake Forest leading Clemson at the half, 17-10. Now the kickoff from the 30. Eric Young at the 11. And he's got running room. Down the sideline. Out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Eric Young with a great return. Arnold Elliott with the stop. A return of 54 yards.
And he can fly. Good job of blocking here by the Scarlet Knights. Cleared out the man trying to break up the wedge. Clark does a fine job of holding it off a little bit. He'd like to turn it back to the inside, but at least he caused Young to slow down. That gave his teammates an opportunity to get there to make the play.
Well, Vandy gets out in front 17-10, but Rutgers now with only 34 yards to drive for a touchdown. Kurt Stevens, the fullback, gets about 3 to the 31-yard line. Rutgers. More scores here. A lot of college football action as it's getting down to the nitty-gritty here. College football teams vying for bowl positions, conference championships. Duke out in front of Georgia Tech. It's being played at Durham. Michigan. Not much of a lead over Northwestern at halftime. Purdue shutting out Wisconsin. West Lafayette. 2nd down 5 from the 31. Rutgers after the 54-yard kickoff return by Eric Young. Here is Henry Henderson. Henderson to the 24-yard line. 1st down for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Gain of 7.
Scanlon got there to make the tackle. He was, if you remember, at the end of the 1st half, he was injured. Doesn't look like he's moving very well out there, but certainly hustled over in that situation to bring down Henderson.
Well, Columbia now has fallen behind Lehigh 20-10. Columbia had a lead in that game at one point. 8:23 to go, 3rd quarter. 1st down 10 from the 25-yard line. Rutgers trailing by 7. Fumble on the snap. Ernie wisely picked it up. Almost made something out of the play. Going to lose 2 or 3, however.
I'll tell you something that Vanderbilt's doing on defense, Bob, differently is in the past, whenever they were going to blitz, the weak safety would have to come over and line up on the slot, and it would be a dead giveaway for the fact that now this was going to be man-to-man coverage, and offenses could check off and eat them up. That time, they gave him a blitz look, and they've been moving around a lot more on defense to try to disguise it.
2nd down 11, Rutgers. Young in motion. Over the middle. Popped into the air, incomplete. Tried to get it to Eric Young. Hit him. Young couldn't control it. Interestingly enough, speaking of Vanderbilt's defense, Tim, as we look, Chris Gaines has 157 tackles on the year. Only 2 so far today.
We mentioned that they'd have Eric Young in motion a lot, and they're just trying to, this is just a little zone pattern, trying to get him underneath the coverage. Eric, you got to watch that ball. You know that. Watch that ball, put it away, then take it upfield.
So what about Chris Gaines? Only 2 tackles?
Only 2 tackles all day?
All day. 16 has been the fewest he's had in a game all year. 3rd down 11. Rutgers. Ernie under some pressure. Incomplete. Intended for 89, Bruce Campbell, the tight end. So thanks to a fumbled snap, a couple of dropped passes, Rutgers has not been able to convert here. They did drive the ball to the 26-yard line, so there's an opportunity for a field goal attempt here. About 43, 44 yards away. They're spotting it 44 yards away for Carmen Sclafani, who kicked a 50-yarder earlier today. This one, 44 on the left hash mark.
I'm sure Watson Brown is excited about the fact that Gaines isn't having to make all those tackles. I mean, he's been making too many.
It is good. Carmen Sclafani having himself a good afternoon, a 50-yarder and a 44-yarder, and it's Vanderbilt 17, Rutgers 13, 7:24 to go, third quarter. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System.
Americans buy lots of imported cars. Isn't it nice to know that Napa has the parts right here when you need them? Don't miss the boat on parts for imports. Come to Napa. Your neighborhood Napa Auto Parts store has more than 125,000 parts for the typical American car. Whatever that is.
Now GMAC does more than finance and lease new GM cars and trucks. We finance homes with GMAC mortgages, finance boats, and our MIC insurance helps keep dreams safe.
The dreams of America, GMAC, we're making your dreams come true. The dreams of America, GMAC.
Official sponsor of America's Dreams.
Story of this game, third quarter, 7:24 remaining. Vanderbilt with a 4-point lead. We were talking about Chris Gaines. I don't mean to infer he's having a bad game. What I'm meaning to infer is that Vanderbilt's having a good defensive game, a little more balance.
A good team defensive game. And Chris, of course, has carried the load for the most of the season. Other people hustling around, but he's been the guy that's been dragging the ball carrier and receivers to the turf. And what we're saying here now is Vanderbilt's playing well on defense. He's only got 2 tackles, and that means the other 10 guys are picking up.
Rutgers, 159 yards of total offense today. Vanderbilt, 363. Rutgers got that ball at the 34-yard line. They started the drive before it stalled at the 26 after a 54-yard kickoff return. Here's Doug Giesler from Barrington, Illinois, kicking off for Rutgers. Mark Johnson. Not much that time, short of the 20-yard line. He was wrestled all the way back inside the 15, but they say his forward progress was to the 17. It was not a fumble. John Blanton, number 25, first man on the hit. Vanderbilt back out here with their offense now. Have a correction on that score with Miami and East Carolina, 34-3, and that's a fourth quarter score.
And as we've mentioned before, Rutgers isn't the only defense to have trouble stemming the tide here of the Vanderbilt offense. And with 6 minutes left to go in the game, Vanderbilt was behind Georgia by 6 points.
Out of that eye again on the option. Here's the toss to Crawford. Beautifully played by 26, Gene Austin. He was just waiting for the ball to be tossed to Crawford and hit him there.
Well, that time they were certainly ready for the option. I think they'd gotten more pass defense oriented. Vanderbilt comes out in the first drive of the second half and just runs it down their throat.
Vanderbilt player shaken up. That may be Eric Jones. In fact, it is. Eric Jones was shaken up last week against Ole Miss. He was injured. Shaken up is the best word, when someone grabbed his face mask and then 2 other players hit him. So he has neck and rib injuries today. So this could be residual effects from the Ole Miss game too. John Gromos is the backup quarterback in case Eric Jones cannot continue, and he will definitely have to go out for at least 1 play. We have 7:04 to go, third quarter. Vandy leads by 4.
A6, hurry and you'll make it.
Delta Airlines ticket agent Sam Singletary knows how to get people moving.
Mr. Franklin, your bag.
But sometimes he has to show off a few moves of his own. The kind of moves that made him a first-string halfback. Sam Singletary shares a feeling with everyone at Delta. He loves what he's doing, and it shows.
We love to fly.
He's the kid.
And it shows.
People in this country work hard every day. Not for fame or fortune do they strive, but the fruits of their labor are worth more than their pay. And it's time a few of them were recognized.
You work hard for every dollar you spend.
Now get $5 back when you buy 12 quarts of any Valvoline motor oil.
You work a 40-hour week for a living just to send it on down the line.
Eric Jones seems to be okay. He, of course, has to come out for one play, and Gromos will go in and play for Vanderbilt on at least this one snap. Second down 8 from the 19. Gromos went in with Vanderbilt trailing late in the ball game last week against Ole Miss and put those statistics up there. Led Vanderbilt on 2 touchdown scoring drives. This is second down, about 8 from the 20. They toss it. Carl Parker down the sideline. Out for the first down. Beautifully executed. Gromos much more the pure passer at 6'5", 205. Remember that he was a starting quarterback a couple of years ago when George McIntyre was coaching here.
I'm afraid he got the Courage Award because he got hammered. And he doesn't run the option that well, or the wishbone, obviously, but he does throw the ball, and that's what he did against Ole Miss last week. Led the Commodores to 2 touchdowns, as you mentioned.
Eric Jones is okay, and he's back in now. First down 10 from the 39-yard line. Vanderbilt leading 17-13. Play fake, toss to Crawford. Look at the run. He's got the speed, needs a block. Gets it from Mitchell. Crawford, touchdown. Penalty marker is down. Hold everything. A penalty flag is down at the 35-yard line, which very well may nullify the 61-yard pass and run. Flipping Vanderbilt. Well, these fans have seen a lot of bad news, and that penalty marker was about as bad a news as they could get. A 61-yard toss.
During the run, 15-yard penalty.
15-yard penalty. No.
Eastern official.
Yeah, that's right. Eastern official. We've been used to 15-yard penalties.
So it's 15 yards, and they will
Takes
put
it to
the ball at
ISN,
the 50.
pops it in there, and turns Crawford loose behind the linebackers. There's one miss. Still, and wow, he made Washington miss altogether. Look at that quickness. And that's just great athletic ability on Everett Crawford's part. Boo Mitchell fights Austin. Austin can't get there. Spidell can't find him, but I'm not sure where the clip occurred.
It is still a first down at the 50. Here's the draw to Mark Johnson. Trying to pop it outside. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. The little 5'7" scat back. He's not little. He's only short. He weighs 190. Calling 190-pounder little is probably a misnomer. Crawford resting after the 61-yard run. What a beautiful run it was. Nullified by the penalty. Look at this. Different team here today. 5 backs in there for Rutgers on second down 8. Eric Jones. He's got running room for the first down. By about a yard to the 39-yard line of Rutgers. Aaron Sellers with the tackle. The Commodores keep the drive alive. It's tough to come back and get it after you've thrown a pass and seen the run for 61 yards and have it nullified, but Vanderbilt seems to have their heads up. They're continuing to drive.
Really expect to see Rutgers come after him here, Bob. Try to create some pressure. They need to get some pressure on Jones. They need to try to frustrate him a little bit or fluster him.
I think this eye is causing Rutgers some problems. They played Army in the wishbone last week, prepared for the wishbone again this week. And they're seeing Vanderbilt in a very unusual formation. Iasenda driving for about 3 yards off left guard near the 35-yard line. Paul Gurria with the stop for Rutgers. We have 5 minutes remaining, third quarter.
And against the style of offense gives any defense a headache, gives you a problem. You know, you prepare to stop one essential element of any offense. You could say, okay, we're going to take this away from you. This is what you do best. We're not going to let you do that. But what do you take away from Vanderbilt? The run and the pass. They do it both pretty well.
On second down 8, plenty of time. Incomplete. Intended for Everett Crawford. Hard to fault him after the excellent job he's been doing in the second half, but he should have had that one. It certainly was a probable first down pass reception.
You certainly don't see that very often from Everett Crawford. Steady, consistent, very talented athlete.
Watson Brown, you see the coaches signaling that play in, or at least what what they're thinking of the play will be. They'll wait till they get to the line. Eric Jones will look to the sideline. Well, this time he's not going to do it. That was them signaling an error. Sometimes they wait till the defense lines up. There's the blitz. Going for all of it. Boo Mitchell has to throw it out of bounds. Good pressure. Alec Hoke, 69, was right in the face of Eric Jones.
And I think you'll see the Rutgers go to more pressure. I really feel like Austin can hang with Mitchell and Washington can cover Parker. I think man-to-man they match up well against him. And the problem that you usually have is that offense has a receiver that's going to burn you if you leave him covered man-to-man. But these cornerbacks are good coverage people.
It's going to be a 53-yard field goal attempt by Johnny Clark. He hit a 54-yarder toward the end of the first half against Auburn. So he does have the leg for it. He's hit 6 out of his last 7. This one's got the distance, not quite the distance. It had the mark and not the distance. It falls at the foot of the goalpost. It is not good. Vanderbilt continues to lead 17-13. 4:16 remaining in the game. You're in the third quarter. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System.
Old soldiers never die, but neglected batteries do. That's why I feel better with a Delco battery under the hood. Seal tight, maintenance free, with plenty of startup power to handle cold mountain weekends.
Precision AC Delco parts. They don't just fit, they match.
We old soldiers spend our time on live trout, not dead batteries.
Now get up to $5 back on Delco batteries. See your retailer for details.
Sunday on Award Theater. Their mission is to find a way through the wilderness.
I need a man who can make maps, and I need him bad right now.
A race against time to discover the elusive passage that will bring them glory.
French gunboats at the mouth of the river. We can row around it tonight. No, the lake's too narrow. We'll have to get around in some other way.
Nothing can stop them. Spencer Tracy, Robert Young, Northwest Passage. The Award Theater presentation. 10:30 Eastern on the Superstation, Sunday morning.
So the clipping penalty, which we have not been able to find on any replays, at least we haven't been able to see it on the replays, nullified a 61-yard scoring play for Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt comes away empty-handed after the drive, continues to lead 17-13 with 4:16 to go in the third. Rutgers ball. Rutgers still in here, hanging tough this afternoon. Here's Body. Big opening. And Body is inside Vanderbilt territory to the 48-yard line of the Commodores. A gain of 16.
Body had a big run against Boston College at the end of the game. Ripped off about a 30-yarder. It kept Boston College from getting the ball back. Just a good job of blocking up front by that by those 5 offensive linemen. Open it up for him.
First and 10 from the 49. Here's Kurt Stevens, the fullback. He fell down, otherwise had a pretty sizable hole inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. Chris Gaines with his 3rd tackle of the afternoon.
One thing that's apparent with Body carrying the ball like that, a big difference in speed between Henderson and Body. Body more like probably a cross between a fullback and a halfback, where Henderson is the scat back. He can hurt you in a hurry.
Second down 5 from the 44. Body again, only about a yard. And it'll be 3rd down, long 4. Cedric Moore, the true freshman, and David Worm with the stuff.
You know, Bob, I think we ought to mention Chip Price and Alan Roman, the cornerbacks for Vanderbilt. They've had some trouble in the past simply because they haven't gotten a lot of pressure on the quarterback in the past, but both of them have done an excellent job. You haven't seen Ernie completing the ball much to the outside, so both Price and Roman are playing well.
Rutgers 2 out of 7 on 3rd down conversions. This is 3rd and 5. Ernie, a lot of time to throw. Incomplete. Was intended for Tyrone McQueen. He could not hold on to it. Alan Roman was covering on that play. Vanderbilt's defense has risen to the occasion on a couple of opportunities here today, and Rutgers will have to punt it away.
You see number 44, Alan Roman. Vanderbilt's defense has risen to the occasion, and the Rutgers receivers seem to be having a little bit of a problem hanging on to the football.
You bet. Several drop passes. That's happened all afternoon. Matt O'Connell trying to angle it out of bounds, but Parker takes the line drive. Looking for a wall of some sort, and there's nothing there. Parker to the 21-yard line. Only a 28-yard punt. Vanderbilt will take over. First down 10 at their 22-yard line. Leading 17-13. 2:21 remaining in the third quarter. Kansas having a long year. Syracuse and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is Rutgers' next opponent. Clemson and Wake Forest now tied in the third. Clemson still reeling from the loss to North Carolina State, and NC State apparently reeling also as they're down by 27 in the second quarter. And we have an official's timeout on the field. Vanderbilt is calling timeout. Vanderbilt will now have 2 timeouts remaining. Some more scores from action today. Duke leading Georgia Tech in the second quarter, and Purdue romping.
It's happening. Skip, get that score right now.
Other Big Ten scores up to the Big 8. The 73, by the way, on the helmet of Eric Jones there, neglected to mention that earlier, is worn in honor of Paul Lamotto. He's a Vanderbilt football player who died last February 13th of Hodgkin's disease, and this season has been dedicated to the 22-year-old for the admiration for the attitude and courage he demonstrated every day when he was battling the losing battle against the disease of Hodgkin's disease. So that's why you see the number 73 on the side of all the Vanderbilt players' helmets. It is 1st and 10 from the 22. Hasanovich goes in motion. Here's the option. Jones keeping and gets out to the 35 for the first down. Vanderbilt. 6 tackles on the day for Alex Holmes. That was a 13-yard gain for Vanderbilt's leading rusher.
On each one of these plays, someone's supposed to take the fullback, someone's supposed to have the quarterback, and someone's supposed to take the pitch man. And there seems to be some confusion on the Rutgers defense with who, in that particular instance, who's got the quarterback. Because one of the inside linebackers looks like he's getting caught up inside, not getting out there to get Jones when he turns up.
First down from the 35 for the Commodores now. Hasanovich goes in motion again. This time they fake the run, and Jones is going to go long. Has Mitchell. Couldn't get it. It was there. Mitchell was looking for it over the left shoulder, had to adjust to the right, couldn't get it.
You know, we talked about the aggressive defenders for Rutgers in the secondary, and sometimes they get caught on a play pass. Boo trying to make an adjustment on the football, can't do it. You know, Derek Baker takes a deep breath because he knows he was beaten that time.
Jones is 18 of 25 for 250 yards. 1 TD, 1 interception today. Vanderbilt's rushed for 158 on the day. Jones has 61 yards of those rushing totals. On the second down, under pressure. Just going to have to run it out of bounds. Nobody home that time. We're going to Atlanta for this college football update.
Thank you, Bob. It's undefeated Syracuse against Pittsburgh. Syracuse with the ball. Don McPherson back to Robert Drummond. The halfback pass to Pat Kelly. This covers 45 yards. Sets up the first score of the game. A field goal by Syracuse. It's 3-0. Back to Bob and Tim.
That's a big battle of the East. Eastern football teams have really started developing in terms of several very good Eastern football teams. It was for a long time just Penn State, Penn State, Penn State. On the third down 12. Jones has his man, Parker. It is complete. At the 50-yard line for the first down, a gain of 16. We had to hesitate a moment to wait for the officials to signal the completion.
Man-to-man underneath. I think he was looking for Hasanovich first. Parker comes curling in. Baker reacts to the ball, can't get there in time. See Parker moving down to the inside. Just starts drifting back toward the football. And good catch by Carl Parker.
Vanderbilt continues to amass yardage. They're going to be near 500 yards of total offense short. Leading 17-13. 13 to go, third quarter. Here's the pitch to the tight end, Hasanovich, and his Rutgers ball. Still loose. Rutgers at the 43. Rutgers football, the first time they tossed to Kasanovich, it was a low pitch, and he could not control it. Gene Austin recovers. Big break for the Scarlet Knights.
This could have gone a long way. There was only one man out there. As you see it here, they fake it to Iasendi. He pulls it out. Evans is there trying to get the Kasanovich, but the ball, as you mentioned, Bob, thrown low. Poor pitch by Eric Jones. Costly mistake.
Third Vanderbilt turnover of the day. 2 to go, third quarter. Rutgers with good field position again. Scott Ernie looking at a lot of pressure. It is incomplete. Thrown to Tyrone McQueen. He fumbled it as he went down at the 28. And the officials weren't sure. And when one of them hesitated, the others got over quickly to say, it fell loose. And that's the 7th dropped pass of the afternoon.
And I think that's the 3rd for Tyrone McQueen. The ball thrown in there. Let's see if we can see it. Boom. It's there. He's got it. It's gone. It's on the ground. No good. And now Scott Ernie, I'd look to somebody else.
Wheat came into the game with 21 catches on the year. Usually sure-handed on 2nd down 10. Ernie, it's incomplete again. This time he tried to get Kurt Stevens, but he had pressure. Vanderbilt gambling against Ernie, and Ernie's the kind of poised quarterback who could normally take advantage of it, but not when the receivers don't catch the ball. So now it'll be 3rd down 10, and the crowd enthusiastically here cheering the Vanderbilt defense, or maybe jeering the Rutgers receivers.
They're so loud. Cobb in. You mentioned a change in strength of teams in the East. Good reason is Dick Anderson at the Rutgers, Dick McPherson at Syracuse. Good people coming in there and doing a job.
3rd and 10. Scott Ernie going long. Incomplete. Good coverage by Vanderbilt, trying to get Eric Young, who's a good deep receiver. Vanderbilt's defense has come to play today. A much maligned defensive unit. Even Watson Brown said a couple of weeks ago, we can't stop anybody.
They try to get Renford Reese man-to-man on Eric Young, and they're successful here. Baker really is no factor in the play number 2, but Renford Reese trucked right along with Eric Young, makes a great play on the football.
Renford's dad, Ernest, will be happy about that one. Ernie is 0 for his last 6 passes, thanks to drops and some good defense. Matt O'Connell for the punt. End over end, fair catch signaled for by Parker, allows it to roll into the end zone for the touchback. It'll come out to the 20, and a 44-yard punt that time. So Vanderbilt dodges the bullet after the turnover. 36 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, and Vanderbilt leading 17-13. There's an enthusiastic homecoming crowd now welcoming the offense back to the field. Vanderbilt 1-6. And it's been a long time since Vanderbilt has won in the Southeastern Conference.
We hate to beat a dead horse, but I think they're much more competitive this year than they've been in the last couple of years. I think they just need a couple more players on defense.
Vanderbilt won their opener against Memphis State, but unsuccessful since. Out to the 24-yard line. Andy McCarroll.
Defensively, Rutgers needs to step up to the plate and swing the bat. They need to cause something to happen there. They got a turnover at the end of the first half, which resulted in a score. They need to take the ball away from Vanderbilt here. It's unfortunate when you've got most of your leadership on that defense is in the secondary. I mean, none of the ugly guys are leaders, you know, yet they're still too young. Guys up front, the 7 down men up front.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Vanderbilt 17, Rutgers 13. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System.
Yo.
What news of the Earthlings?
Totally high-tech, sir.
Indeed? How?
Check out these Casio watches. That new Casio pulse watch checks your pulse rate.
Not bad for a Zog my age.
Casio's new databank watch remembers up to 50 phone numbers, dates, hey, whatever.
Amazing.
And they've got more new watches than you can shake a boar bat.
Splendid. I can always use another Casio.
They do a lot more than just tell time.
This year, across America, over 1 million drivers who already had someone else's credit card asked for a Shell credit card. Why? maybe they just wanted the extra assurance of Shell, the best-selling gasolines in America. To all our new Shell friends, we say, welcome. You knew there had to be a difference, and you prove it every time you fill up with Shell.
If you see news and record it with your home video camera, call 1-800-544-NEWS.
So we're ready for the fourth quarter here. Vanderbilt leading 17-13. Tim, Rutgers self-defeating a lot today, even though Vanderbilt's been playing well. A lot of drop passes.
Vanderbilt playing well, but Rutgers is helping them out, as you see this coming back to the inside. McQueen, that's a catchable football. If you're a wide receiver for a Division 1A team, you catch that football. And then here's Stevens. And, you know, you got to get both hands out there on the ball, Kurt. And there's a captain of the offense. You got to make a better effort, I think, for the football at that point. You know, a guy that really is demonstrates how well they work together and how much effort they put into it. That was a real good effort by Kurt Stevens.
Now, just as Rutgers adjusted to the eye, Vanderbilt comes back out for the wishbone. This will be 2nd down 5, first play of the fourth quarter. Vandy leading 17-13. It's the option, Eric Jones keeping it, first down and more. What a runner this Eric Jones is, to the 47-yard line. Eric Jones gets 23 yards on that keeper. Jones now with 76 on the day.
There's got to be some confusion here on the defense for Rutgers. A nice block. Is that McCarroll again? And there's another nice block by, that was Carl Parker, nice crackback block, and it just wiped out some of the containment.
And they're helping Eric Jones off the field. Looks like an ankle this time. Eric Jones has just been pounded all year. He's thrown for 267 yards today, and he's run the ball for 76.
Looks like he pulls up right there. He really can't make a move back to the inside. He's already twisted his ankle at that point. The problem for a Rutgers cornerback is he's trying to jam the outside receiver and play containment against a run. Well, when he does that, when he jams the outside receiver and comes in to contain the run, they hit that little pop pass that they did so effectively a few moments ago.
Look at that, Vanderbilt getting up near 500 yards of total yardage today. 452, that's through the third quarter, and doesn't count these fourth quarter numbers. Out of the eye, Gromosen now gives to Crawford, finds a hole. Drives for about 7 inside Rutgers territory. 14:45 to go in the game. Vanderbilt leading by 4. And I guarantee, well, I don't guarantee it, but I don't believe that the 4-point lead will be enough for the next 14 minutes. There you see they're working on the left leg. I can't tell. Of Eric Jones. No, it looks like the right ankle.
Right ankle, yeah. It's already taped up, so I'm sure that he aggravated a previous injury.
2nd down 4, Vanderbilt from the 46-yard line of Rutgers, and John Gromos in for his 2nd appearance today following an injury. Hands to McCarroll, gets close to the first down. I believe he got it. First down, Vanderbilt. Carter Giles with a stop for Rutgers.
We saw John Gromos last year and I think the year before. And he just didn't have an offensive line to protect him, and they were trying to throw the football. But here you see what a balanced offense can do. In the second half, Vanderbilt 209 yards on the board, and
Rutgers only a little 33. Amazing. Rutgers has been moving the ball against everybody they've played.
And if they've got an opportunity to move the ball here today, it's just if they're going to throw it, the receiver's got to catch it, because Ernie's putting it in the area. See, Dick Anderson would much prefer running the ball than throwing it. And I think that Dick Curl likes to throw the football. And it's that kind of a creative conflict or balance, however you want to call it, that generates a good offense. If you get everybody thinking the same way, then you really have no imagination.
First down 10, Vanderbilt from the 42. They have 485 yards total offense today. Crawford gets it inside the 40. Gain of about 4. We'll be back in a moment, but now we're going to Atlanta for this college football update.
Thank you, Bob. We'll update the game between Miami and East Carolina. Quarterback Steve Walsh completed 6 out of 26 passes for 212 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 of them to Brian Blades. It wasn't even close, 41-3. Miami 6-0.
Forget how good Miami is, because they take those weeks off. You don't see their score. They come back and wallop somebody and take a rest. They don't have any more weeks off, though. Play fake. Gromos. Good passer. Incomplete. Boom. Mitchell at the 25. pounds himself on the head for that one. Nice pass from Gromos.
He'd given Austin a good move back to the inside. Booth sets up. Austin's right with him. Gromos ready to throw. Gromos looked Austin to the inside, then popped it back to Mitchell on the outside, and he just took his eye off the ball at the end. Watch this. He scoots downfield. Austin looking back inside. Gromos with his eyes leads him back to the inside, then throws it right to Booth. No good.
Gromos in the pocket. Gets out of there. Throws on the run. It is complete. Let's see who's got it there.
You gotta see
Kasanovich with the ball.
You gotta see this again.
It was Parker first.
Gromos almost gets killed by Spidell. Finally gets out of there and throws a duck downfield. Parker, the ball is down there.
I don't know if it went down. It was popped in the air.
Okay.
Nevertheless. It looks like it should have been whistled down, if nothing else. But nevertheless, Vanderbilt has it. And Boo Mitchell jumped off sides, but he can go back and line up again if they wait long enough. The official says no.
They waited too long.
Waited too long. That'll be encroachment on the offense. Delay of game. The clock had run down past the 25 as Vanderbilt takes a long time to begin with. Eric Jones, who was shaken up, says he's going to try to return.
Delay game. Offense exceeding the 25-second count. What you got?
Our producer Skip Ellison's getting that racked up again, Bob. Here we go. Here we go. You viewers at home, the experts. I'd say it's a catch and down.
I think he was down. Right,
I
agree with you.
But so you think it's incomplete?
No, I think the ball should have been complete and blown down and never popped into the air.
Right, yeah, that's what I said.
We agreed on that.
We agreed on that?
We just weren't sure. We sound like two lawyers, don't we? First down 15. Here comes Eric Jones, who's back in the ball game, sore ankle and all, and goes to the 11. Vaughn McCoy with a stop. 19 yards for Eric Jones, who had gone out with a sore ankle, came in and ran it again.
There's just nobody on the quarterback here. The man on the quarterback is being blocked. And, of course, Washington's got to go with the outside to the fake. With the fake, that's his man.
Vanderbilt leading 17-13.
McCoy makes the tackle, but it appears as though the man that's responsible for the pitch is being blocked inside.
First down 10 from the 11. Everett Crawford drives to the 6-yard line. Vanderbilt's first down stick is at the 2. That's where the first down would occur should they not get it into the end zone. And Vanderbilt has now exceeded 500 yards total offense, 524 on the day. And in case you're wondering if that's a record, not at Vanderbilt, not by any means. 1952, most yards rushing and passing in a game. Vanderbilt had 430 rushing, 368 passing for 798 yards against Northwestern.
Against Northwestern, did you hear that, Craig?
Here's Crawford to about the 3. Short of the first down. It will be third down and about a yard for the first. There's the story of the game. 10:56 remaining. 4-point lead for Vanderbilt.
Time's running out here for Rutgers. You got to come up with a play here now. Try to keep them out of the end zone. Get 3 points. There's still an opportunity for them to come back and go for 2 and win.
Big defensive set here for Rutgers. Third down to Vandy from the 4. Out of the wishbone. That's McCarroll. Touchdown. Andy McCarroll's 5th touchdown on the year. And this battered and bruised makeshift offensive line has played well for Vanderbilt today.
Done an exceptional job. That's Charles Pearson getting a good block. Greg Smith over on that side. Then McCarroll just knocking it in there.
Pearson has played very little all year long, but John Fouts is out first. Seaver is injured and goes on and on. He's done a yeoman's job here today. Clark for the point after. It is good. Vanderbilt 24, Rutgers 13. With 10:24 remaining in this game from Nashville, Tennessee.
there's a vacancy at the Bates Motel.
Norman, is that you?
No, it's Buzz McKenzie, and it could be you. Look for this display and enter Bud Light Psycho Sweepstakes to win a Bud Light party with Buzz McKenzie at the Psycho Mansion. You could even get a mug like Spud's at participating retailers. Wow!
That Spud is so cool, it's scary.
Junction Boulevard backed up 5-6 blocks and rubbernecking delays have traffic backed out about halfway to the interchange southbound and it's stop and go.
Contrary to popular belief, there are millions of miles of roads totally unfettered by traffic. And one car that will inspire you to get up earlier to find them. The new BMW 325i. With 39% more power than its predecessor, it has the singular ability to bring a whole new meaning to the expression, rush hour.
And it's stop and go northbound all the way.
This portion of SEC football is brought to you by Bud Light, the light beer with the first name and taste. Everything else is just a light. And by BMW. To arrange a thorough test drive, simply phone your nearest BMW dealer. Vanderbilt with the lead, 24-13, 10-24 remaining.
Let's watch it and slow it down here. You give the ball to McCarroll. Good job blocking by Pearson, and you're going to see number 63, Craig Witt. Get a nice cutoff block there, and Jones reads that down lineman to the outside, gives McCarroll the ball, and then he just hammers it in.
We're talking about the Eastern teams and the Southern teams. Tennessee's playing up at Boston College today, and last we heard, Boston College has defeated Tennessee 20-19.
That's a surprise.
A big surprise in Boston. Rutgers defeated Boston College a couple of weeks ago.
Well, now it's getting serious. 10 minutes left to go in the game. If you're Rutgers on offense, you got to make the plays. You got to make it all count. You have to make blocks. You have to catch the football. You have to hang on to it and start getting some points on the board. It'd be unfortunate because Dick Anderson has done such good things, and the staff here at Rutgers, they weren't able to get into a bowl, but they need to have a win here to do that.
There's the final, 20-18 BC with the victory, but nevertheless defeating Tennessee 20-18 in Boston today. Syracuse leading Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, Rutgers opponent next week. Indiana coming back. They had trailed early in the ball game. Indiana going for the Rose Bowl for the first time since '67. Am I right, Tim?
Since we let them go the last time.
You remember that game? Was it the last game of the year?
It was the last game of the year. We were supposed to beat them. They beat us. We fumbled the ball 6 times, and so we ended up all tied. Minnesota, Purdue, and Indiana tied for the Big Ten title, and Indiana hadn't gone in the longest time, so they went.
So you love telling that Purdue-Indiana story. I'm glad I had the opportunity to ask you again.
Yeah, I like it better since I met Bill Mallory and his staff last winter. I just really think they do a fantastic job there.
You and I, Paul Horning, saw Indiana play Florida State in the All-American Bowl last year. We could see it was a team on the rise then. Eric Young. Vanderbilt's fired up now. These Commodores are sensing their first win in a long time, but they've got 10-20 remaining to hold Rutgers. Back to our studios in Atlanta with Craig Sager in this update.
Thank you, Bob. Here is why Boston College defeated Tennessee. BC with the lead with the ball first and goal from the 8. Mike Power to Tim Prager. Runs out of room, then finds an opening on the other side of the field. That gave Boston College a 20-3 lead, which was too much for Tennessee to make up. Back to Bob.
So the Eagles with the victory over Tennessee in Boston today. 10:20 to go in this one. On the first down, Scott Ernie had to pull it back. Got the pass, and his receiver caught it this time, Brian Cobb. Cobb has been conspicuously absent from receiving the ball. Scott Ernie seemed to be shaken up when he threw the ball that time, but Cobb made the catch this time. The backup quarterback, in case Ernie is injured, by the way, is John Murphy, a sophomore from Mastic Beach, New York, which is on Long Island. And Murphy has not played a snap all year. And as you can see, Ernie is having to come out of here. It's his knee, his left leg at least. And now a totally untested Rutgers quarterback, John Murphy, will enter the game. This could be tragic news for Rutgers. We will wait to get a report on Ernie, but you can see that he is hurting a lot at the moment.
Henderson also comes into the ball game, Bob, which may mean they're going to try to run it a little bit here.
John Murphy, his first snap of the year. Second down 10 from the 31. Pitches to Henry Henderson. Henderson down at the 35. Needs to get to about the 37 for the first down. It'll be third down short. Rutgers snaps the ball the next time.
Vanderbilt fans doing the wave here. While other fans around the country have tired of the wave, Vandy fans haven't got that much practice, so they're not tired of it yet.
You can be forgiven any kind of over-enthusiasm today if Vanderbilt is able to hang on. But first, they've got to stop Rutgers with a young, untested quarterback, John Murphy. Scott Ernie has gone to the sideline. Third down 2 from the 35. This is Box. Gets the first down. The drive stays alive for Rutgers. Clock down to 9 minutes. Rutgers trailing by 11. John Murphy came from Long Island, as we told you. His high school coach said he was the best passer that ever played in the Long Island area. Threw for 5,000 yards in high school and had a 23 for 35 day in the spring intra-squad game for the Scarlet Knights. So he is an outstanding passer at 6'2", 215. If he needs to. Of course, trailing like this, they need to. Fumbles a snap. Rutgers maintain possession. And, of course, we've said it so many times, anybody who watches football knows that anytime you change the center of the quarterback, that's liable to happen early. But he's got the good arm.
Yes, he does. Dick Hopkins has to be proud of his defense. They have done something today that they haven't been able to do successfully all year, at least when we've seen them, and that's disguise their coverages. They haven't had the patience to actually sell the disguise. They'd start to move too early, but today they've done a fine, fine job.
Second down 12. Rutgers from the 37. Make it the 38-yard line. Vanderbilt leading by 11. Penalty marker down, delay of game. You know the butterflies are in the throat of John Murphy. The quarterback of the future for, not to say that Murphy's not for sure, but the quarterback they really like on this Rutgers team is a fellow named Tom Tarver, who is from Jackson Township, New Jersey. They were heavily recruited by the Pac-10, particularly Southern Cal, but Tarver is a redshirt freshman, and they certainly will choose not to use him today. Scott Ernie getting that left knee taped up. Looks like they're trying to get him back in there. Second down, 17. Here's Stevens. Good pursuit by the Commodores. Stevens goes down at the 38-yard line. The first down stick is way out at the 50-yard line for Rutgers.
Third and 12, and there's Tarver. He's charting the plays there. Third and 12. They're going to have to put this one in the air. It's just that time of the game. If this was in the second quarter, they could run a draw or screen, but right now they're going to have to throw the ball down the field.
Well, the note we get from the sports information folks with Rutgers is that Scott Ernie, the Rutgers quarterback, injured his left knee and will not return. Third down 12. Murphy. Picked off. Vanderbilt with the ball. That's Scott Brown to midfield. Scott Brown, the redshirt freshman from Jasper, Alabama. His first career interception.
They're running man-to-man underneath, Bob, here, and Scott Brown just throws the ball right to him. He had his hands on Eric Young, but didn't really affect the play at all. That was just that ball shouldn't have been thrown.
So Vanderbilt, after Scott Ernie goes down, takes advantage of the inexperienced young quarterback. Fumbled snap and then the interception. Commodores ball. First and 10 at the 49-yard line of Rutgers. And here comes Eric Jones again. Near the 40. Eric Jones will go over 100 yards on the day. 104 yards carrying the ball for Eric Jones. He's thrown for 267. Third in the SEC. as he came into this week in total offense. He was first until he was held to 46 yards last week against Ole Miss.
And I'm sure that Vanderbilt has come up with a different blocking scheme for this Rutgers defense, because that time Barrett was on the man that was responsible for the pitch man. He was in his face, which prohibited the fellow from tackling Jones.
2nd down 2. McCarroll. Rams for the first down to the 36-yard line. And for Rutgers, their bowl hopes are ticking away with 6 minutes remaining. Several of the bowls we're watching on our telecast today, I know, at various locations around the country. Independence Bowl scouts were here. Already the Peach Bowl, Citrus Bowl, Bluebonnet Bowl, and Independence Bowl have been interested in Rutgers, but they needed to beat Vanderbilt. I believe this will squash bowl hopes unless Rutgers can beat West Virginia at West Virginia in a couple of weeks in Pittsburgh next week. Here goes McCarroll inside the 35 to the 32-yard line. We said Spidell. There's McCarroll, 36. Spidell, 63. The linebacker was a clone of Chris Gaines of Vanderbilt. Well, today it's been Spidell with all the tackles. He just made his 11th tackle on the afternoon for Rutgers. Gaines has 5, which for him is an afternoon off. Clock continuing to run. 25-second clock down to 6, 5, and counting. Jones at the last second. Hands to McCarroll again inside the 30 to about the 28. Needs to go to the 26 for the first down. It'll be 3rd down, short yardage.
And you can be sure Jones is squeezing every second out of that clock. He's looking at the 25-second clock down on the field and waits till it gets down to 3.
Well, there's a look we haven't seen on Watson Brown's face for a while. And do I detect just a touch of relaxation? Just a touch.
I'm not sure. It doesn't look like anything's going to break. Most of the time we look at him, it looks like something's going to fall out.
3rd down 3. Carroll again, close to the first down. I don't know if he got there or not. It was a long 3. 4:18, 4:17 and counting. Vanderbilt has 2 timeouts remaining. Rutgers 3. The crowd here wants Vanderbilt to go for it on 4th down and about half a yard. And the Commodores are. And you'll see a tick down here as Vanderbilt lines up.
That's the 25-second clock that's in your screen there.
Jones getting the play right now from the sideline, now giving it to his players out of the wishbone. Jones keeps it, tosses, Crawford. First down to the 21-yard line. Gene Austin with the 11th tackle of the day for that cornerback, and Vanderbilt keeps the drive alive. We're going back to Craig Sager now in Atlanta.
Undefeated Syracuse has added to its lead. Quarterback Don McPherson to tight end Pat Kelly, who grabs the pass and goes all the way for the touchdown. Syracuse on top now, 17-0. Back to Bob and Tim.
Syracuse really rolling. Syracuse player, or Rutgers player down on the field will report on that as soon as we return. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System.
We're not a company.
But we recognize potential. We develop it. We use it.
We'll make sure that as your responsibility grows, so will you.
As your ability for leadership grows, so will you.
Working with us, you'll gain self-confidence.
Become a person with a future.
We're not a company.
We're your country.
We're the Marines.
The Army.
The Navy.
The Air Force.
We're the armed forces.
It's a great place to start.
Hi, I'm Bobby Unser. The difference between winning or just finishing is Turbo Wash.
Turbo Wash is the most advanced high-pressure washer on the market today. Now your car, boat, or motorhome can have that professionally clean look in minutes, right in your own driveway. It's safe, easy, and fun to use. Turbo Wash soaps, sprays, even waxes. Gentle enough to protect your car's finish, but powerful enough to clean a second-story window. Get the whole line of Turbo Wash products available at these fine stores.
So Vanderbilt gets the first down. Ball spotted at the 22 of Rutgers. 3:29 to go in the game. Vanderbilt leading by 11. Almost a comfortable lead. Here's the handoff to Everett Crawford. And the penetration from Rutgers stopped the play for a loss. Scott Miller was the man.
Now that was close. Miller almost had that football. I don't know if he had it or not, but we'll see it again right here. They run this little trap back. They tried it earlier. Watch this now. Boom. Crawford's got it now. Who's got it now? Miller's tearing it loose, but I guess Everett's on the ground. Good call by the official.
By the way, it was Derek Baker who was shaken up before we went away to the commercial for Rutgers. He is now back in there. He left for a play. He's okay. Second down, 12, Vanderbilt. That's McCarroll. Inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. Clock running down to 2:42. This Vanderbilt offense kind of pieced together. Just last year, one time, Eric Jones, a quarterback, was listed as a receiver, maybe tight end. And then McCarroll, who played linebacker in '86. Parker was listed as a tight end at one time, Carl Parker. Crawford recruited out of high school as a defensive back. Third down, 6 from the 18-yard line. Time clock, play clock down to 2 seconds when Eric Jones took the snap. Keeps it, dives to the 15.
Eric Jones on the carry.
107 yards rushing on the day for Eric Jones. He hasn't thrown but 2 passes in the fourth quarter. Hasn't needed to. Well, this one's in the books, folks. Vanderbilt's going to get a homecoming victory over a very strong Rutgers team. Rutgers beat Kentucky earlier in the year, lost only to Syracuse and Penn State. Beat Boston College a couple of weeks ago, handled Army easily last week. Came in here today. They are down by 11 with 1:43 to go. And timeout signaled on the field. We'll be right back to Nashville.
Xerox, the antifreeze that beats winter. Available now.
Your face takes enough abuse, so you need the Gillette Good News Plus disposable. Its Lubra-Smooth strip is designed to reduce irritation, so shaving feels so good. Good News Plus.
I'd no sooner settle for a flake in my hair than a spot on my uniform.
You pass the test, you're good grooming. Has the look of success. Your head and shoulders above the rest.
Regular shampoos just rinse flakes. Head & Shoulders goes to the source to help stop flakes.
And that's doing it right.
Your head and shoulders above the rest.
Vanderbilt going to attempt the field goal here, 32 yards from Johnny Clark. With a minute 29 to go when the drive stalled. It's 4th down 3. It'll be a 32-yard attempt. Clark today has a 20-yard field goal. He missed from 44 and missed from 53. Vanderbilt came from behind to defeat Memphis State in the season opener. Played 4 or 5 teams, including Alabama, very close. Then really kind of started self-destructing at the end of the Georgia game after playing Bulldogs closely. Were blown out by Ole Miss last week, but have regrouped here at homecoming today to defeat a strong Rutgers team. Johnny Clark's field goal attempt is good. Vanderbilt 27, Rutgers 13 with a minute 25 remaining. You're watching SEC football on the Turner Broadcasting System.
You know, there are a lot of places where you can look for an auto part. But here's where you'll find it. Napa has parts for imports and other hard-to-find parts. So come to Napa first. We've got your part.
Whatever happened to real food? You know, the kind that just tastes real good. Give me a steak and I won't be blue. I got a taste for some real food.
Beef, real food for real people.
Get that man a Slim Jim. Slim Jims all around, on the job or on the road, or just plain sitting down. All right, and give yourself a Slim Jim. So good to eat.
Legend faucets from Moen have all brass construction and our patented cartridge for easy on and off action and precise temperature control. They also have our lifetime limited warranty, so you know your Legend faucet will last.
Minute 25 to go in this one from Nashville. Vanderbilt 27, Rutgers 13. Watson Brown looking at his second victory this year, and it will be only his third victory since returning to his alma mater. But as we said earlier, Watson Brown is very pleased with what he thinks will be a good future. He has 27 players redshirted this year.
I think especially happy this afternoon is Dick Hopkins, the defensive coordinator for Vanderbilt, simply because he's had a tough road these last few weeks, and his kids were starting to get down on themselves, confidence disappearing and dissipating, and they've got to feel good about the way they played on defense, even though the Rutgers offense helped them out with some drop balls. They still played very effectively against the run.
Scott Ernie, Rutgers quarterback, injured with his knees taped up, will not return in this game according to the information we received. Rutgers has only 47 yards of offense in the entire second half, only 195 on the day. Vanderbilt has amassed 563 yards.
You know, Dick Anderson has been in situations like this before, and they get these young men excited again.
Out to the 34-yard line goes Sidney Crawford, a center who was playing on the kickoff return team, picked up the loose ball and ran it out to the 34. Now Rutgers has a minute 22 remaining, but they're down too many, 27-13, and Rutgers' record will fall to 5-3. Rutgers goes to play Pittsburgh, followed by West Virginia, followed by Temple. I suppose an 8-3 record would still earn Rutgers some bowl consideration, but this will virtually end bowl hopes for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. John Murphy, the young quarterback, under pressure, dumps it as he's hit to body the tailback out to the 43, short of the first down. Now the time down to 109, 108, and there's a penalty marker on the end of the play.
Somebody might have come in a little bit late there, Bob. Yeah, the problem that Dick Anderson had this week was, I mean, you know, a bowl is on the line, or certainly a bowl consideration is on the line. Whoop, clipping against Rutgers. But I don't care how often you tell a young group of men that this 1-6 team is better than they look. They feel like you're the coach. You got to say that stuff, and they don't really believe it, because Vanderbilt is better than 1-6.
Vanderbilt played a very tough game today with a lot of injured players. Andy Baker wasn't supposed to play. He just had to tuck it back up and come in there and play. Murphy completes the pass to Bruce Campbell. Campbell is down with the clock at 56 and 55 and ticking. It is complete again. Clock down to 44.
Little flea flicker action there. Campbell catches the ball, flipped it to Stevens. You usually see that on the outside, but it seemed to work well in there.
Now Vanderbilt has Kentucky coming in here next week, November 7th, to play at Nashville. The penalty marker goes down with 34 seconds left in the game. And Kentucky, as you know, lost to Rutgers. Kentucky, pretty good football team, but they've been having hard times since they've hit into the meat of the SEC schedule. Then Maryland, struggling this year, will come to Nashville, and then Tennessee at Knoxville. So Vanderbilt's got a definite opportunity to get a couple of more victories here and even possibly play tough against Tennessee. Tennessee lost Boston College today, 20-18. So Vanderbilt could end up with 3 or 4 wins this year. Only 1 win all of last year.
And not only were they losing last year, but they were looking bad losing. And this year they've lost, but they've looked much better in their losses, much more respectable.
And of course that was a 4th down. The ball turns over to Vanderbilt with 24 seconds left. The homecoming crowd on their feet, cheering the Commodores, who are going to get their 2nd victory of the year. And it's a significant upset, particularly from Rutgers' point of view. Rutgers came in a touchdown favorite over Vanderbilt. Rutgers with plenty of timeouts, but I doubt that they will call one. Jones just falling on the ball. And 16-15 and counting. Vanderbilt will not have to snap the ball again. And the Commodores and Watson Brown happy with a homecoming victory over Rutgers, 27-13. Back with final comments after this.